Want to do a little intro?
Yeah, do we go headphones or no?
Nah, I'm not going to do headphones.
Okay.
I like this better. I like to hear you guys in my real ears.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, bro. All right. Well, I'm not really sure what this is, but we got someone that everyone knows, but no one like really understands. You know what I mean? We got Grant Lannin, otherwise known as Mind Hacks, in the house.
What up? Dude, where do I look? Do I look there? Do we look there? I feel like I naturally want to look right there.
I think you should look at me.
I'll look at you.
I think when you're making a point, look directly into
At
that
the camera?
right
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
So wait, so we each.
Oh, there we go.
So you have your own camera, and me and Ben
Are we sharing this one?
Yeah.
No, you guys don't have your own.
I get 10% of this
Okay.
camera.
10% over 100 pixels.
Oh, we got the pink gradients too, and this is sick actually.
And a picture of us.
Yeah.
From legit 7 minutes ago.
Amazing.
Grant, do you remember when we did a podcast? Oh, by the way, I got Ben.
What up, Ben?
Yeah, thanks.
What
Thanks
up,
for the
Ben?
intro, brother. You
We got
forgot about
Ben.
me for a sec,
I did
but
not.
I am
About
here.
you. I was just gonna say, like, dude, I was talking because I was on TikTok live right before this, and I was like, I'm doing a podcast. Everyone was like, with who? I was like, fucking Ben Bader and fucking Mind Hacks. You guys know Mind Hacks? And everyone was like, oh my god, fucking Mind Hacks.
That's funny.
They know you.
And then you said Ben Bader, and then it was crickets.
they were like,
Ben Bader. You're on the come up, bro.
Ben him
I am.
Bader.
You're on the come up.
Content's been fun. That's one thing you guys have really fucking nailed, and I'm starting to get it, and it's just fun to grow. It's fun to like figure out what type of content people actually resonate with, especially on TikTok, because you have to like dumb down your ideas enough to where people understand them. It's easier on Twitter because everybody's in the same kind of bubble,
Yeah.
but TikTok's a different animal, and you guys killed it.
I felt like it was pretty straightforward, but it is actually super difficult for people. The whole like take what you know and digest it simply. I think that's the hardest part. Or like you and I were talking, like people can't see, like they have all this context on what they know, and you can't take yourself out of what you know to be like, okay, what does the average person think? And then come at where they're at.
Yeah.
Because you'll have people, even in the videos that we have, like everybody will make claims like, oh, you know, and the universe is all energy, and then they'll just move on. And it's like, if you're going to say something like that, like you got to just break it down for them.
Right.
And then, but you're really good at that too. Like even in the money stuff, which is why I think people see you on the internet and they're like, bro, like if Mason can do it, because you seem, it's like how Hermosi is like a multi-millionaire business legend, and then everyone that's in our position is like, oh, we could get there because this guy's normal. Like I think you'd have that for the normie.
Mm-hmm.
They're
That
like,
was
oh man,
always
if he
my
can do it,
goal.
I can do it.
That was literally the goal. Like but also like I've been a normie. Like I've actually.
I mean, we
genuinely
all,
been-
we're normal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, some like we have, but like there's a lot of people who like haven't. Like I think like one thing that people really do admire is like the sort of legit sort of come up story where it's not like I was poor and now I'm rich. It was like I was unenlightened and now I am what you want to be. So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of people think that because they, you know, have never heard of any of this online business stuff and they don't, you know, they're in school or they work a regular job, that they like literally cannot do it. Like
Yeah.
they just think it's not in the cards for them.
Yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Like, it is. And I think like the more you communicate that, I think that like that's kind of what people want to hear. Like people want to hear there's a shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of being relatable in your content. Like the people that forget what it was like before they were him, that's the people that can't make good content.
Yeah.
Like they just can't put themselves in the same state of mind that they were in then, and then break down their ideas and break down what they now believe to be true at such a level that they would have understood it when they didn't actually believe those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
I think like language is the only barrier. You know what I mean? Like I think like everyone knows how to communicate it. Like everyone knows what they want to say.
Yeah.
To express that type of idea that we just talked about, where it's like, you know, going from point A to point B. Like everyone wants to kind of say that, but it's like your only limitation is like the words that you know.
100%.
Because like if we could just like Neuralink our thoughts into everybody else, like everybody would be rich.
100%. I wrote this today. I was like, if you had an unsuccessful person in whatever domain and you just literally took successful person's soul, like, I mean, you're the perfect example. If you had Mason's brain and you literally put that brain in any person that, say, let's say even joins your program, they would be printing. Why? Because you know what you're doing. Bro, and it was like the Mr. Beast thing. He was like, dude, anybody could have 10 mil in 6 months because it's all knowledge. And that hit me. I was like, that's insane. But it's
Yeah.
so true, right? Because everything that we've ever done, getting there super hard and you're like fighting and clawing, but then you get there one time and you're like, oh, dude, I could do this again. Like if
Yep.
everything goes away, because you're that dude, you're him, right? For
Yeah.
your words, like you know how to do it.
Yeah, it makes sense. And like, it's once you get there, it didn't feel like it was super hard work to get there.
Yeah.
But you just unlocked all of the tools and all of the knowledge that you needed to along the way that made it seem easy once you arrived at the top of the mountain.
He said that today. Like, it was right before you showed up to the mall. I think the first words out of your mouth was like, dude, this was all too easy.
Yeah.
You were kind of joking, but
I
it was
tweeted
like,
that this morning.
yeah,
Like,
but like, why don't you
it
explain
blows
what
my
happened
mind,
there?
bro. Like, I woke up today and then I was just like, oh, like, what should I do today? Like, and then I realized it was Saturday, and then I was like, why do I have so much fucking freedom? Like, why was this so easy?
Because we're in America,
People
baby.
work their entire lives.
I'm in America, brother.
People work their entire lives, like 40, 50 years, to have the level of freedom that we have right now. And it just blew my mind. And it was like 2-3 years for each of us, like, of actually being in the grunt work and being in the grind to get here. Like, that doesn't sound fair. It doesn't.
It's crazy.
It's hard to even conceptualize.
Do you ever feel guilty when you like, dude? Actually, I can fully admit, like, anytime I'm like we're walking around the building that we live in, I almost said it, but like when you see people who are like in their 40s or 50s and they're working like either like construction in the building or like they're cleaning the building or they're like delivering food to the building,
Yeah.
and they're like 3 times your age, and you're like just wearing track pants and a hoodie and
Yeah.
a Rolex that costs like more than most people's cars. It sounds terrible. Like I feel awful. Like it feels
Okay.
weird.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, cause like I don't think it like they're judging or anything like that. Like, but I do think that like they must think like that we're fucking.
Bro, I don't know.
What do you think they think?
I don't know if they. The thing is, like, I run that on myself. So what I mean by that is, like, especially, you get it, like, on Twitter, especially, you get a lot of really young guys making a lot of money, and then so like if I were to run that on myself, it's like, well, man, if I knew what I knew now back then, but you see people that did that, like they're like 16 and they stumble into X and Y and Z, and now they're doing big months at like 18 years old.
Yeah.
And then I'm 27 now, so I'm seeing that like, dude, if I had that back then, I would have leapfrogged. But in the same way, that's kind of what it is. It's like it's like you need the opportunity vehicle. It's like if you know something exists that you can take your exact same skill set in and go into that and like 7x your output, like leverage is the game, right? But it's like we all, and I mean, if you guys figured out what you knew, let's say 5 years ago, you'd be way ahead, right? Everybody's, but then you get all these people that just don't know, right? And I think like, especially a lot of the quote unquote business killers, let's say back in the day, that like there was no internet for them, right? So you had all these guys that just never found an opportunity, and now they're like 70 years old, and then the internet comes in, and they're like, bro, like if I had that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I think it's just like there's mystery around it. It's like, how did that happen, right? And I don't know, I like saw supercars when I was a kid, and I was always curious, like how, there's a way to do that, you know what I mean? So I think there's a curiosity, but then I've always been inspired with that stuff. Like you guys doing your thing, or even anybody else doing their thing. I've never been like, oh, and you get smaller and you're like, oh, my life sucks. It's like, bro, if that guy can do it, what the hell does he know that I don't? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think most people just opt out of having the curiosity to like even pick at
and follow it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, that person's young and they're in a sports car that costs $100,000. Like, instead of thinking like, okay, what did they do? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
What do they know that I don't know? They just opt out of it of like, oh, that person got lucky. Like that's a scam. They have opportunities that I don't. Like, and those are the people that end up in the TikTok comments talking shit. Like,
and the weird thing is, like, I've been thinking about this actually. Like, luck is definitely a part of it, but you can curate your own luck. So, like, when I was in my sales job, trapped in the quote unquote matrix, right? I was like, what bets can I place that are super low risk but super high reward? And I just kept rolling. So, like, technically I failed a bunch of businesses, but I was fine. Right. So it's not like I never had my whole net worth on the table. I did later on, actually multiple times, but at first I didn't. And it's like doing the retirement stuff. So I went full bore on that one. And then I almost kissed bankruptcy like 4 times.
Really?
Dude, I was so stressed because basically it's commission only, and it's basically like a 5-month sales cycle. So let's say you put in leads in January, and we were doing mailers. So basically send a mailer to somebody's mailbox. They get it. It's like, oh, free lunch. And then you're essentially renting out a restaurant. They come and eat for free. And then you present with an attorney, you guys sauce on their face, and then you give a consultation at the end. So basically that process is like a couple weeks. Then if you get them on a consultation, that sales cycle, how we did it anyway, which I realized was the wrong way to do it eventually, but we were running this, was like 2 months. And then if they close, it's like another month to get paid by the insurance company. So you're fronting all this money, and you're starting out, and you're new, and you have no fucking clue what you're doing. So money's just leaving, like actual dollars, and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to close because there's no other income source. And then like, I think
So it's like marketing costs, basically.
Marketing costs with a long sales cycle and a commission-only business. That's basically it, right? And then, dude, I had so many like teeter-totter deals fall through when like right when I needed them that actually made me start using the word God. Like it lined up too crazily for me. And like, dude, I was like spitting blood. I was so stressed. I think I was grinding at night and like, dude, so much stress. But like, to go back to what I was originally saying, like the average you don't have to put a bunch of poker chips on the table, like a service-based business, right? I don't know how you guys started. That's how I started, right?
Yeah.
$0 required. It's pure time. So like you clock off. Okay, how am I going to do this? It's pure knowledge, and then you just keep rolling the fucking dice until it pops. You want to cuss on this? Because I might. I've been like not cussing. Okay, I let the first one go. But I think that's it. I think if you just take low risk bets often enough with a high upside, something's gonna hit, right?
Yeah.
And I think we all, because I know your guys' come up stories mostly, like that's what we did. I mean, it's the most logical thing to do. If you see this shit on the internet, you're like, fuck, I can do that. You just start throwing stuff.
And then you just accumulate more skills and you get closer to something that you can actually make
better and
money
better.
with.
And then you get really good. Like it's funny, even today we were talking about like X and Y's business, right? And they're like, oh, they weren't doing this or this or this or this. And then it hit me and it's like, you guys know a fuck ton about actual like getting businesses profitable, like real stuff and like really in the weed tactical things where the average business owner I would say like wouldn't. Even like a standard like mom and pop business, like they know how to do their thing, which is like if it's a bakery, you can bake cookies. If you're a chiropractor, you can do your chiropractor stuff. But the business stuff they don't usually have, which you guys are killers at. You know what I mean? So it's like once you have that, you're done forever. It just took 3 years to get the skills.
But like then we talked to like we got to shout out Converte, like Andre. Have you ever talked to him?
Yeah,
dude. Like you think you know a lot. Like 3 years. Like about 3 years for me. Probably same for you.
Yeah.
We talked to Andre from Converte it was like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And dude, it just reminded me like how fucking new I am. I don't even know how long he's been doing it.
Yeah.
I'm imagining it's like way longer than any of us. Like, dude, the stuff that he just knows is crazy. So like that's always one of the best moments is like you meet someone who like just reminds you how far there is to go. Because like there's nothing worse than feeling like you're about to beat a game.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like the last 90% of like a video game. Where you're like, fuck, like I'm gonna have to, or a show or something like that, where it's like you're on the last season, there's like 5 episodes left, you're like, fuck, dude, I'm gonna have to like start over. Like it's almost over. Like I think like when you're reminded that there's another 50 seasons that you need to complete and you're still enjoying the show, that's like one of the best things. Which like it just reignites the flame and makes you want to do more.
Yeah.
And then you're like once you get there, it keeps resetting, right?
Dude, that's like the best feeling.
Yeah.
Like some people, I think, okay, that's actually a big difference too, I would say, between you two and like the average person is like you and I do this too. Like we run towards that where it's like, oh, I feel like an absolute idiot. Okay, that's good. Like I'm actually learning today, where other people I think do everything they possibly can to avoid that, which is huge. I'm just kind of a pivot. Like, were you always like that as a kid? Like, did you just run towards, this is fucking hard, I'm going to do that? Or did you have like a moment where you snapped out or what happened?
No. I was always like, I had a couple of things that I was like naturally good at.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I was like always naturally good at music. So like guitar, I picked up, thank you. I picked up like right away. And like I was always, without much hard work, like I took lessons and I practiced a little bit, but like I couldn't find anybody who was like better at that than me. And that was really like rewarding because I was like, oh shit, like I get the joy of like being like top tier at something, but I don't really have to do any work. And then I kind of had the same experience. Like I was playing hockey and soccer. I was really good at sports when I was like younger, like under like 10. And then 11, 12, 13 was when it started to get tough. And I was like, fuck, like I could, then it's like the crossroads thing where it's like I could like put my like way more energy into this and be like maybe just a little bit above average.
Yep.
Or I could just quit and do something else. Like I'm always like, I've always been about like efficiency where it's like, I don't think that you should like only stick to what you know. Like if I was gonna try and like monetize doing music, I never would have made any fucking money. I'm glad I picked up the skill of copywriting. I was kind of like an all right writer before I started, but like it's a brand new skill and it turned out really well. But there's a lot of times where it's like, I don't know, you're just wasting your own time trying to figure out, new stuff when you could just focus on what you're good at.
Yeah.
For me, that was basketball. Like growing up, I was just obsessed with that. And it's also like it becomes diminishing returns at one point. Like I got to a level in basketball where I was good, but like for me to get to where I wanted to be and like play D2 or even play D1, like I would have had to put in so much time on top of what I've already done to where I was just like the obvious decision was doing something else.
Yeah.
And now that got reignited in me, like towards the end of my freshman year of college, I started running towards shit that I sucked at again. And then you just do that over and over, and then that spirals into something that actually means something. But like once you build up that baseline level of obsession in anything, I don't think that can go anywhere. Like unless it has to go somewhere, rather.
Yeah.
Like you have to put that into something else, or it's just gonna eat you up. And I think most people have that, where like they were obsessed with something at one point, and then that thing didn't end up panning out the way they thought it was going to, and then they either parlay that into something else, or they just start eating it themselves, or they become a drinker, an alcoholic, a gambler, like whatever, because that obsession has to go somewhere. And now I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict, so.
But you're
and
functional.
a gambler.
And a gambler.
And a
But it's
gambler.
functional.
He's functioning.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him functional.
He's going. That's funny.
Dude, what do you think about Miami so far?
Miami's sick. I like it a lot. I like sun. So basically, I actually, there's no name for this, but I think I have this complex that I'm going to call something that I'd never seen before. But I grew up in Portland, right, Oregon, where it's rainy and cold all the time. So I have this weird thing where I never want to live in a place like that ever again. And I've never heard anybody talk about that, but like I have a visceral like disgust for like gloomy, rainy places.
Yep.
So I don't know why like now I'd take probably like 110 over like cold and rainy. So I don't know what that is. So Miami's warm, obviously. So I love it. Plus, there's a real energy. Like you can like the entrepreneur community is crazy. So I've always felt like an outcast basically on stuff I was interested in. And then I can like meet people like you guys and just talk stupid business stuff all the time. And that's kind of like what we all want to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's super nice. And there's a bunch of them. And then I told you guys this like the other day, but like you can look around and like people seem more alive. Where like in Oregon, and it might be because of the rain, and I love everybody in Oregon, but it like there's pockets of Portland, let me say, where like you'll literally walk into an establishment and everyone serving you and whatever they're doing is really grumpy and mean, and so you feel very unwelcome. And then you look around and everybody's like super groggy and like meh, and you're just like, bro, like what am I doing here? And I had those
Collective
moments
misery.
like every Sunday, dude. We'd go to these freaking like days of where we just go to different restaurants and bounce around. I'm just like, bro, I gotta get out of here. So
Yeah.
but Miami's sick.
That's what I think about New York. Like everybody's just collectively sad. And there's
In
like
New York?
Yeah. It's
Bro,
like,
in Times Square, yeah, but I was just there and like
Was
it
it
was
nice?
maybe in
actually
the summer it's different.
I like New York.
But
I love
I like it too. Like it has its charm and it's romantic. But I feel like everyone is just like collectively a bit miserable. And like it gives it its charm.
I can't relate. I'm low-key in love. Like
New York's sick.
Like,
Yeah.
New York, bro. I had a great tour guide. She was fire.
Great tour guide.
I don't want to be like
Fell
I
in
don't
love
want to be
with
like
your tour guide?
dramatic. I don't want to be dramatic, but
You
like,
impregnated your tour guide?
bro, like might have to fucking make some phone calls.
That's
but,
funny. Little Cuban baby.
yeah, like I don't know. I think there's like I think you'll find that anywhere, but I also think you can bring it out. Like one thing that I can tell you have this influence on both of us, but I see it in you. Is
Just that I
that
got way cooler.
yo? Well, yeah.
Ben's cooler now?
Ben is now Cool Ben. That's like his name.
Cool Ben, that's
you gotta
funny.
call him Cool Ben
That's
because he's
funny.
just cool now.
Yeah.
And dude, I think like what you are good at is like is talking to people and like sort of making them sort of snap out of it, right? Maybe you like are like that because you were in Portland where it's like the highest density of people who are just fucking asleep.
Yeah.
But like you can do that where it's like it doesn't matter who you're talking to. Like it could be like the person next to us at a table or something like that, or someone in an elevator, or someone serving us, or someone like just standing near where we are.
Yeah.
You can kind of talk to anybody and like either make them laugh or make them like think about something or just like make them
Something.
feel good. Like
Yeah.
where did that? I mean, like, dude, I know a lot about you because I was in your fucking course.
Yeah.
And it was like probably the best, amount of money that I've ever spent.
Let's
on
go,
anything.
baby.
I'm watching it again,
Let's
like
go.
literally just for no. I was like lying in bed, just fucking watch it. But
Yeah.
like you were like, there's like a clear before and after of like you
funny.
like I think you said 16 was when you were like super tight and anxious.
Yeah.
And now you're like just completely loose and like kind of you're fully yourself.
Yeah.
So like, what did that like? Is there like a come to Jesus moment where you're like, fuck, I gotta like change?
Kinda, yeah. I appreciate those kind of words, by the way. And that is kind of a hobby. Like I feel like I just love people, and I love when people are themselves because like it's a new like we all have our own energetic signature, let's say. Like it sounds cliche, but like you're like a snowflake, right? You're one in infinity is what you actually are. Like you're not just 1 in 7 billion. Like there'll never be another Mason. Like you're 1 in infinity, which is fucking crazy. But I think I have like a weird affinity towards seeing that in people. And when they're not being like, a lot of stuff is like, especially like when people are working and they're being in employee mode, you have these roles, right? So it's like, I'm employee, you're customer. And it's like, how's your day? Do you want a bag? No, da-da-da. But then, I don't know, I just need a human thing. I don't know what that is. But as far as moment, I would say 18. So basically, I went to college, and everything that I didn't fix got super exposed in college. So I had like these crazy panic attacks all the time for like health reasons, I think. So like meningitis went around like the college we were at. And then like I got super sick. So I thought I had it. And that made me like be like, oh shit, I'm going down. Like I had this whole like health anxiety. And then it got to a point where like I went to all these different doctors and they were like, oh, take all these pills. And I'm like, dude, this is situational. Like I used to not have it this bad and now I do. Like I'm the only fucking constant here. And then I literally just got like, I went down the YouTube rabbit hole because the pain drove me, found Eckhart Tolle, and then found like the Power of Now, started meditating like aggressively. And I was like able to see like the gap in my mind. And I was like, holy shit, like I can create a distance here and like not like these affect me. Then you detach from your thoughts, right? So that was like the beginning of it. And then I think that's been like my whole thing is like, I basically was able to see how wound up all my shit was, like a fucking ball of yarn. And I'm like, okay, all this stuff, here's where I want to be. Here's where I am now with the fucking yarn. It's like, let me just one by one unroll this shit. And then I think once you learn how to unroll stuff for yourself, you learn how to help other people do it. But yeah, I don't know. I've always also been super playful. So to answer your question, I think like I've always been, and I still have a very strong like play mechanism. Like I'm always playing around and having fun. And so I think part of like the breaking people out thing is literally just pure fun, like just selfish good vibes. It's like, hey, you don't have to be like let's have some fun. And they'll be like, okay. Yeah. But I think that's rare too because people are so serious all the time. And like the craziest thing ever that happened to me was when I was doing that business stuff with that first business where I was going up and down, like almost kissing bankruptcy, and I'm like bleeding from the fucking gums. That mentor was like, this was like the same day that I like didn't know if I was going to get that sale. So I'm like maximum stress, bro. Cause you have like the anxiety of all the financial stuff plus that you don't know if you're going to get, like, it was like triple anxiety. So I was like, oh, I'm like revving it RPM maximum. And then we go to his house for like a get together or whatever. And he's like, yeah, my friend asked me like, who's the happiest person I know? And I said, you. And that was like the day that I had the most stressful fucking week. And I was like, holy, that was crazy to me.
That's wild.
And I was like, oh man. So that was insane. But I think it was just because like you show up every day and you're like, I'm going to have fun, right? Like you could be stress all the time. I don't know. So, but I think it's like selfish. Just let's have some fun. Why not?
Right. Yeah. Like there's this joy that we get out of, not to be too woo-woo, but like bringing people to a higher level of consciousness.
100%.
Like making them actually be alive rather than just like getting me my coffee.
Yep.
Like putting a smile on their face that actually like, you feel that energy.
Yep.
And you can give more energy to them by just being you and being present. Like it just feels great, bro.
It's crazy. It feels great to get that too. Like if you're kind of having a bad day and someone's like, oh, little smile or something, or like a little blitz of presence, you're just like, dude, thank you for that. Like you're like, oh, I needed that. A little break in the freaking haze.
Even like in the elevator, bro. Like smiling at somebody in the fucking elevator. Like why does that go so far?
Or just elbowing in the neck.
Yeah.
Just a quick bow to the face. Rob him on the floor.
I think we're spoiled, bro. I think like we are lucky enough to like be around a lot of cool people that we all genuinely like. And I think a lot of people don't get that. And so like one tiny little interaction will change. Like, bro, I remember like when I used to work at McDonald's, I would see like 1,000 people a day working the drive-through window. And there were like 2 people that I remember. And one was this gay dude named Chris who would drive through. He had like not a Trackhawk, but like the not Trackhawk one.
Like the Jeep?
Yeah. Not like but like basically.
I know what you mean. Like the Cherokee maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I just remember like, dude, he was just funny as fuck. And I just like would wait for him to show up. Be like, what's up, Chris? And like that was like the best part. And like, dude, he didn't even do anything special. He just like wasn't like an NPC.
Yep.
And like, that was 7 years ago. Or whatever. I remember him now.
It's crazy.
So like I think like you can give that to people.
That's how I feel when we go to a place we go to every day to eat.
No.
Wow. Okay. You want the smoke?
We'll like literally get jumped.
Ben, can I have your autograph? Yeah. It's a shame.
But like every time we go in, like they're happy to see us, and that like makes me just feel amazing. And then like being able to make their day and just put a smile on their face, like bro, it's And then maybe in 7 years when they're successful, they'll be talking about us on a podcast. Like,
It's crazy. But you like, and I went to the place with you guys, but like even there's that waitress specifically that I know that you were talking to that first day,
Yeah.
and you can like see the joy on her face. Like
Holding on.
like Ben pulls up and she's just like, fuck yes. Like this
my
is my
dog.
little sugar baby. He's going to eat me good tonight. And she's ready to go. So, no, I'm just kidding.
you're not kidding though. Like,
Yeah,
she's
no,
my
no,
girl.
yeah. You're like low-key smashing, bro.
That's my
She was
wife.
over last night.
Yeah, low-key smashing.
saw her leave in the
Was those
morning.
shoes? Yeah, okay. I saw her like running away.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh.
She was dressed in the same uniform. Ben pulled straight from her place.
I was
of work.
wondering why there was like acai bowl crumbs everywhere on the
It's
ground.
like
That makes
it's like
sense.
our role
Yeah.
play thing. Yeah,
It's like a pair of nonstop shoes at the door.
I'm like, yo, come over.
Let me give
bring
you
me a nice latte.
the real tip.
You're 15% of what?
15%.
No, he gives her 100%.
No, I tip 100%. Come on now.
Yeah, 100% of what?
100% of 3 inches.
Hey, man. It's
Hey.
more than enough.
They say what size doesn't matter. It's the motion of the ocean.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
what's up. Congrats, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Money. I also have a micro penis, so
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, dude. Mine's like long, but it's like just so skinny.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least you got length.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mine's
It's
like
literally
inverted.
this microphone, like wire.
Yeah. No, yeah. Mine I have to like hold my breath and push back.
You have
Just
shaves?
to piss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously
Like-
that's every day.
Pee on
Yeah.
your balls?
Exactly. Say pee on your balls.
You pee on your balls? What?
Yeah, it dripples down. It's like the funnel. That's the OG funnel right there.
Funnel hacking?
OG funnel hacking. Micropenis.com. How do you guys do this?
Yeah,
Founder of
dude,
the
it's a
community.
VSL.
that would actually be a good offer. That's a real problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, like that was, we were talking about that today. Like the client that I wrote for it was like 2020 Black Friday, like a water pump for your dick.
Oh yeah.
Like it was legit.
Yeah.
Like, apparently, I've seen, kind of get like when I was doing market research, like I had to like watch like reviews on their site, and it's
Yeah.
literally just like dudes with their dicks out.
You
So
just
you
watched
saved them
Adam
all.
22.
Yeah.
Like,
So you
like-
stacked into that swipe file.
Bro, like, it's on my hard drive now.
Mason, what is this? Mom, it's a swipe file.
Yeah, that's what I say about everything. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
no, and like I had to like watch basically what they were saying, but like it was just dudes like just naked, just talking about the product. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, great. This is never do this again.
Did you print on that one? You make money or what?
I think they they didn't really tell me. I just wrote a bunch of emails.
Was it super early or when was it? Like was it like first year of your grind
Yeah,
or
like 6 months?
okay?
Yeah.
Who
I
was
got it
your-
off- I got it off Upwork.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's how I started too on copy. Was Upwork.
Really?
Yeah, my first ever. Well, actually, I talked about like I did this. So you guys play RuneScape? Did you play
did.
RuneScape? Dude, I put so many years of my life on RuneScape. But you could get like this fire cape basically, and it was super hard to get. It was like 55 levels that you had to beat in a row with like limited supplies. And they had a forum on RuneScape, and so like everybody would be on this forum, and you'd create signatures for everybody because like they'd have their cool little forum signature. I don't know if you were on like the OG forums. You had like your little freaking like graphic.
Yeah.
So I would like be like, okay, I could make these on Photoshop. So I would like make everybody free signatures, and I got crazy goodwill. And then I started charging for fire capes like $5, and that like popped into my brain like way down the road. I was like, oh, I'm kind of doing what I've always been doing. But
What was your
Upwork,
first like online business thing?
it was like my first official online business was selling fire capes to kids on RuneScape for $5 a pop.
How are they paying you?
PayPal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Gee. Yeah, that's how I got paid too.
And then I had so much social proof from the graphics, like I was getting no objections. They just trusted me with their accounts because I could have technically like taken it.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, it was just like, hey, do this thing, and then I would like post something, and they'd see it in my signature, like all the other testimonials, and they'd be like, bro, can you do this? I'm like, yeah. So it was just straight inbound leads, bro, from RuneScape forum.
Wow.
It was crazy. But Upwork, 5 painting articles, 250 words each. I did like 1,000 or something because I always knew like provide value. This blew this guy's mind. He got like 5 SEO'd painting articles for like $5, literally, or like $30, and then that testimonial just ran with that.
Nice.
Did you sauce on Upwork though? How was that?
Yeah, so I actually got a lot of really good clients off Upwork, but my first two, one was through cold email, and then Twitter DMs with Chase,
Yeah.
Diamond. And then after that, like I kind of didn't really like doing cold outreach, and I was making, I was 21, and I was like making like $4 or $5 grand a month.
Insane.
And I was like, dude, I'm rich. Like I don't need to do anything else.
Yeah.
And then I started doing just like finding random stuff on Upwork.
Yeah.
Because like it was like easy, low hanging shit, right? Like they already needed it, and so like I got like once I was like out of like poverty basically, I would just like do Upwork because it was like really like low hanging fruit.
Yep.
It would be quick jobs where I just get a bunch of experience really fast, and I think that was probably why like I got good quickly was just because like it was just volume. Like if I probably would have made more money if I like just kept doing cold outreach and would look for like retainers that were like 2-3K. But because I was doing Upwork, like I was turning over like 4 or 5 jobs a month.
Real quick.
And so so I talked to so many different people, and it was good. Like and then I got kicked off Upwork because I was accepting payment outside the platform.
Classic.
Yeah.
I had no idea you could actually find like solid clients through Upwork.
Dude, yeah.
I was just harassing basketball trainers in fucking Facebook groups. Like,
On Facebook groups? Yeah.
The YouTube ads guy that you were working with for Loop, shout out Bryce. He posted on Upwork, and I worked with him for like a year and
That's
a
how
half.
you found him?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of
Dude,
cool
side note, I got this weird twitch in my arm that started like 2 days ago.
That's dehydration.
I think you need water, bro.
You think? No,
Yeah.
I'm hydrated as fuck, bro.
Are
That's
you?
one thing that you've
Could be,
obviously
could be
stay
nervous
hydrated.
system. Do you lift too hard? Are you stressed?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm really tight. Could it be that? My upper body's
I
really
think it'd
tight.
be more nervous system than like tightness.
Huh.
What are you stressed about?
I don't fucking know.
Ben, why are you stressed?
Do you guys have like any sort of like real stress
I always have stress, like massive amounts.
about what?
Business, other stuff. I
Like
mean,
money stress or like result stress?
not like money stress. Well, obviously you have like moving pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're paying people. So I mean, and then Ben and I are actually talking about this today. And a lot of people say this, but it is true. Like I always, with the business stuff, I do always feel like it will just collapse randomly, and I'll be effed. So like the amount of like cash I keep is kind of stupid. And like people have been like, you should invest that, and I'm like, I just need a big safety net for my psyche. And I don't know why, which is interesting because like, and I kind of heard Hormozy talk about this. Like, I feel like my safety requirement, my comfort requirement is massive. But then to the external world's like, oh, you take a lot of risks. But I've never really felt like that because I've been like, well, it's like a math calculation. It's like based on what I see here and the downside, let's do it. You know what I mean? But then like there's always a game plan though. It's like, okay, if this doesn't work out, I'm safe here. Or if this isn't done, I'm safe here.
The only time really a risk, bro. Like,
never a risk, dude. Especially if you can sell like that. Like if you can sell, you'll always be making 6 figures, and like you're always in demand. And like now with the network that I have, just Money Twitter and everybody else, like you could always fall to a place of a lot of money because you can sell.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, if you can sell, you'll never be poor again. It's like, well, if you can sell, and if you can find a good sales job, you'll never be poor again. So it's both of those.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
I think
always
about that all the
stressed.
time. Like also because our network is so good. I actually made a TikTok about this. Like if I went broke and I lost the use of my fingers so I couldn't type anymore, like I could probably text somebody and get a high ticket sales
you
job.
have to speak it in your phone.
I'd have to do voice notes
Yeah.
with my like knuckle, I guess. But I could probably find myself like a high ticket sales job that pay at like 15-20K a month.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah.
It would be that
Your
legit.
network is your insurance policy. 100%.
Exactly. Yeah. And also like I also said like I have a bank account, like a separate savings account where like I have like all of my my close friends rents like, for a month. So like if all of you at the same time
That's baller as
couldn't
fuck,
pay your
actually.
month for
That's super baller.
rent for a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
Like I got you.
You're gonna have to add another 1,000 in there.
I know. I got you.
My rent's $200 a
Danny,
month
Luke,
because I'm
Brent.
sharing it with the waitress you banged the other day. So
Yeah, but like so I don't know. But dude, I'm the same. Like I don't literally. I have $0 invested. I have like 2K in crypto that I forgot about. I don't even know what the password is. I'm like, yeah.
I feel like it's also different if you have a business because there's bandwidth. So like if you start investing, even if you get somebody to do it, you're like, oh shit, what are they going to do? So now you're divided again. And like the amount of money that they could theoretically make versus the risk if it all went to zero versus your bandwidth investment, it's like, I'll just keep it.
Yeah, like I also wouldn't want to put money somewhere unless I had a hand in growing it.
Yeah.
Like I just don't trust people enough. Like if I was thinking about putting some money into the software and it's feasible, like if I could bring ideas to the table that like, okay, we can do this to get more users here, like then I would think about it. But like without that, it's just like I don't have control over it. I'd rather just keep it in my fucking piggy bank and stare at it at night. Like,
How many? Do you have one big piggy bank or?
It's a big piggy bank.
Big piggy bank?
It's actually all under my bed.
Yeah. I was wondering when I walked into your room and saw the pig stuff, I was like,
Yeah.
why does he have so much of it? But that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Investor. You're like, well, I'm an investor. You're like, oh, that's why you have little curly tails.
Yeah. I mean,
Part of the reason I wanted to do it was just so I could put like VC or fucking angel investor in my bio. Like that'd be fucking sick. Like come on. Like I throw 10 grand, I can say I'm an angel investor. Like, you kidding me?
Bro, it's all
You don't
about
have
the
to make
bio.
money.
All about the
How do
bio
you make money?
tag.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
an angel investor.
I'm an angel investor.
That's actually what people do though. Is like they do that just so they can say that, and then they get more inbound deals. Like people start like reaching out to you. Like that's what Chase told me he did. Where it's like you throw down 5 to 15K a couple of times, like super like easy checks,
And then you can technically say this.
and then you can like people will come to you, like good companies.
Yeah.
Ideally would be like, hey man, like do you want to throw in a couple grand?
This is like a very nuanced psychological sales thing, but I notice that on sales calls. So if someone gets on the call and they're like, oh, I'm this and this and this, because they're doing these weird mental gymnastics of the thing, then logically you're like, oh, you're doing this for what you think it is. You don't actually want the result. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like if, let's say I get somebody on the thing and they're like, oh, I'm an angel investor, but they're on the phone with me, so I know they're not. Then it's like the fact that they just said that, there's that thing where you want to invest just so you can say people did it, but that's a different target. So like actually becoming an angel investor is right here, but just saying you are one is right here, right? Or the example, we were at the mall today, right? And we saw a lot of people that probably shouldn't have been in the mall buying stuff, but it's like, so it's like you can make money or you can like want to look like you make money, right? And these are different goals. But if you're the one fulfilling on a sales call, like that's little stuff that I'll pick up on, and it's like, it's like,
It's like
you know,
they're getting off on the idea.
they're getting off on the idea, because then I've seen so like many people go through the cycle. It's like if they hit a little rough patch, it's like, oh well, I can say I did it now, so like there's no other goal now. It's like they're not going to do anything.
Right.
Do you think that it actually does, like, some people say this, like, lying your way to the truth, sort of like not manifesting, but like putting your brain there first so that like you can get there easier? Do you think that's a thing? Are there any?
What do you mean?
Like if you say like if you start dressing like you have money, do you think like, or people, the classic example, right? Buy a fucking supercar and then you're gonna network with other millionaires. Like I've never seen that actually happen.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just like a money Twitter jerk off fantasy. But that is what people do say. I'm sure there's like a better example where like it actually is true. Like maybe the watch, right? Like we're like, maybe if you're wearing a cool watch and you meet other guys who are, you know, who also wear cool watches, like maybe that's a thing. Even though I, like, if I couldn't afford this, maybe, I don't know.
What do you think?
I think that there's some validity to it, but that's just not the way that I network or do business. But I think it may be different for somebody else. Like I would never buy a supercar thinking that I'm going to like meet some multi-millionaire because of it. Because I know that my personality type, if I see someone driving around a Ferrari, I just don't really care that much. I don't question like, oh, I wonder what he does. I should meet him.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram? Like I don't operate that way, but some people do. I don't know.
So what is your networking strat if that's not it?
I mean, dude, I just talk to people. Like I just like DM people on Instagram. Like there's a couple people that I'm talking to that I think are cool, and like previously I would think that they're a little bit like, dude, even with you, like when I saw you on TikTok, and I thought you were super smart and you had a lot of good ideas.
Thanks, bro.
You're welcome.
And you're like, yo, this kid's a fucking weirdo. Why
I was like,
sauce on my face.
Yeah, I was like, not this kid.
and then I messaged you on Instagram and I was like, dude, you don't know who I am, but like you would fucking crush on Money Twitter, and you were like, oh, I am on Money Twitter.
Yeah.
And then like
I was like,
I am Money.
I was
Twitter,
like, yeah.
that was when you had like 500 followers.
Yeah. Well, I
And
followed you. I remember that.
Yeah, and then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's weird.
That was funny.
But like, so I mean, it definitely helps to have like your own sort of like personal brand to network. I
Yeah.
think, like it makes you valuable to more than just like
I agree.
people. But yeah, I think that's, I don't know. That's
I think back to your like original statement of you like lie your way to the truth. It's not necessarily lying your way to the truth. It's like believing and making the necessary actions that would align with somebody that you're not currently, but it aligns with that person that you're trying to be. So like this is what you sent me that video the other day. It's like that same kind of thing. Like your thoughts, your ideas, your belief system start to align with that other person, and then you can attach to that instead of just staying stagnant and like, this is my bubble, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is what I know. You have to start to think like that other person or like that higher self, whatever the fuck, and then you become that. It's not necessarily lying, it's just believing in something that might not be true in the moment.
Facts. I think a big thing that people don't realize either is like whenever you progress in life, you're going off of faith and guessing. So like that's the crazy part is like the perfect example is when I was in my sales job making, 6 figures a year, but I wanted to make 6 figures a month. It's like, and I felt like I could. Why did I think that? Like that's kind of fucking crazy. You know what I mean? But what happened was I beat the game that I was in. And then I was like, okay, based on how hard that game was, well, it was easy, so I could probably play a higher game than that. Then I see other people that I felt like I was more competent than making that money, and I knew what they were doing. And then it's a fucking math equation. It's like, okay, based on what I know and what I've just done versus what I've seen this guy do, I think I can fucking do this. And then that intuition, like all the crazy shit that anybody does, it's off that little like that intuitive urge. It's like, I think I can do it. And then some people just fucking suppress it forever. People like us, we're just like, fuck it, let's go. And then we just do it, and then it manifests, right? And then that, it's the fucking crazy part, bro. It's a video game. It's like that thing that you were like, oh, it's going to be hard. Then like if you actually follow it, like a year later, you're like, damn, that's what I was worried about, because you just shoot up. You just quantum leap. It's fucking crazy. But a good example of what you said, though, that I use a lot is, because I totally agree, is like the introvert extrovert thing. So I actually had this. I am super introverted. So when I say that, I recharge alone. So like, if I hang out with people, I need to be alone for a long time, and people see like, oh, you have social skills, you're extroverted. I'm actually like hyper introverted. Like I can be alone for months. I prefer to be alone for months, but I have social skills that I've built. But let's say you have somebody who says I'm introverted, right? So I personally used to say things like, I hate people, I don't like people, blah blah blah.
Yeah, dude,
and that,
same.
Bro, everyone, I feel like any like kind of independent thinker, off the beaten road kind of guy will feel like that. And then I also had things like, I hate small talk and all this shit. So I had all the stuff that was stopping me, right? And then like the small talk reframe was like, no, small talk is like a necessary evil for a gateway for a deeper conversation. So if I'm going to shit on small talk, I'm losing connections. So I have all these reframes. But for the introverted one, like let's say you think you're introverted. So your brain, because you've identified with that, is literally blocking out reality, right? So then you forget all the times you were extroverted. So if you get an introverted person, it's like, well, I'm introverted, I can't talk. And it's like, well, what happens when you get with your best friend and you don't shut the fuck up? It's like, what happens when you find something you're passionate about and you talk for 7 hours? Your brain just ignores those. It's like, doesn't exist. So then if that guy just did all the extroverted stuff, he's like, I talk to this guy and do this thing, then he's doing the behaviors of an extrovert. The only lagging indicator is the identity. Because it's like, you're doing the things of the person, but you think you're an introvert. Theoretically, if you just thought you were an extrovert and then you looked around and you were doing the extrovert shit, you're fucking extrovert, right? So that's like the nuance of the identity game. It's like, bro, it's 100% mind. It's actually crazy.
I think it goes the same way with confidence.
100%.
If confidence is outside of you, like I need to be more confident, that you can never find it.
It's
you
the
have to
most
act
ironic
more confident
thing.
before, like it's courage over confidence, and then you find the confidence.
Yeah.
Because if you're just waiting to feel perfectly confident, and like that's never gonna happen.
That was one of the best things you said. I don't know if you came up with that. I'm just gonna say you did. The courage over confidence thing.
Yeah, that was actually a Taylor Allen concept, but
You didn't even have to say that.
I can't take
Someone
credit
knows
for
that.
it. Though. Yeah,
Like it's huge. Like
I mean,
it's
it clicked for me, bro. Like, the one example that I used, I think in that email that you might be referring to.
Yeah.
Not besides the Lonnie Walker thing, but I was sitting at the place that we go to every day, and there was this girl that was
with the
walking
waitress
out.
that you piped.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
My sweetheart.
Actually, I piped
fucking
too. I don't
love
want to
her.
tell you we're Eskimos.
Dude,
Yeah. Sorry.
do it.
Yeah.
You guys piped? Wait, both of you piped?
It smelled like Ben, but I was like, it's a Tuesday. Fuck it. I'm bored.
But this beautiful girl is walking out of there, and I'm sitting outside, and then I was on the phone with Lutz actually, and he was like, "Yo, go up to her, like, go spit game."
Obviously.
And I didn't do it, and then I was like thinking about why I didn't do it, and like some of the objections in my head were like, "Oh, like I'm fucking wearing shorts and a t-shirt, like I don't look great, like whatever. It's not a great hair day." And then I was like, "Wait, like." If I need all of those perfect things to align to get me to go take action, I'm always going to have another objection. You get creative in the objections that you can think of that'll hold you back from action. So then I realized, like, wait, it's just courage to do that in the face of uncertainty, in the face of unconfidence.
Yeah.
I would add to, like, I think courage precedes confidence. So like if you do that 30 times, you're actually going to be confident because you've done it 30 times. And now it's like, oh, in this specific situation, I've gone over this freaking emotional ledge so many times. Taking a little vape break. I think this should be your intervention. If you're going to take a vape break on the pod, bro, vape break on the pod. Is that like banana?
Yeah.
Yo, I got to say, he's made a lot of fucking progress.
Yeah.
recently.
Okay, really?
He used to
Actually-
always have 2 with them, hitting them like all the fucking time.
Two's
that was
crazy.
a crazy motion.
Two's
Well, it's
crazy.
Just because it's 2 different flavors. Here's the thing. So like, listen, I know it's not like a great look, but like
It has nothing to do with look. I'm curious. I want your health. I'm going to be here when you're
dude,
70.
I'm literally okay. Everyone says this, but like, you ever smoke cigarettes?
No, I never have.
You've never had a cigarette.
Never had one cigarette.
Okay, so
Bad example.
I used to smoke cigarettes a lot. Like I used to smoke a lot when I was like. When I
So
was working in
you're
a restaurant-
rationalizing that it's not as bad as a cigarette.
Well, it's not.
Okay, there we go.
Because the standard is
Okay,
cigarette.
yeah,
Right, but listen,
yeah.
so because it's my favorite nicotine delivery system.
Okay.
I have tried Zins. I
Yeah.
fucking hate them.
Okay.
I've never tried the patches or anything else, but my thing is like when I'm at a party or something like that and
Yeah.
I smoke like 3/4 of a pack of cigarettes in a night, that's about the same as like that's a lot of cigarettes.
No, I agree.
And so then you wake up and I feel awful. Like I can't breathe. I'm like,
Yeah.
my throat's all dry. But like with this, like with what I like Ben said, like I'm way down from where I was.
Yeah.
And like
I'm just
I
trolling,
honestly
bro.
feel fine. Like my energy's good.
Yeah.
I still like can do shit. Like there's no impact on my cardio. My cardio has never been great.
Yeah.
Even when I was a kid, I fucking sucked at running and all that
Yeah.
shit. But like it's probably honestly better now, just because I actually
Yeah.
train it. But like
Dude, just wait till I get you guys running with me.
I'm down.
fucking sick.
It's funny. I'm just messing with you. I'm actually like, people are like, they shouldn't do this. It's like, why do you fucking care?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like the only thing I would ever, if I had a friend who was a super alcoholic and he's like, I want to function in life, but that was stopping him, I'd be like, bro, this is clearly stopping you. But if people are doing like Zins or vapes, or it's like, who the fuck? I
Yeah.
don't understand it.
I'm very like in touch with like what I feel is genuinely holding me back. Like I always ask myself like,
and you have to be to do what you've done.
exactly. And so like I would have to seriously have an honest conversation. If I was like genuinely addicted to something that I felt was holding me back, then
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, I gotta cut this out. But like
I think we all do, right?
I think people on Twitter will make a huge fucking deal out of it. But like I honestly, like 'cause
Bro,
I
Twitter
see
makes a
it
deal
lot.
out of everything.
Everyone
Twitter's
wants to
so
be so
fake
rigid,
life.
bro.
Dude, Twitter's fake life.
People are getting memed.
The internet is
into-
fake life.
Yeah, people are getting memed into their taste in women. Like,
Oh, the
That's
worst.
called
it's
Margot
so
Robbie
funny to
meme.
me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
seeing these people run around like, I need a fucking virgin. I need to like she needs to cook and clean and be really feminine. Like, bro, shut the fuck up.
Dude, the
like,
memes
if you
are
guys
crazy.
vibe,
I
you
kinda
vibe.
want that, though.
Like
The
you
meme-
do, but like the main. I was thinking about this, and I bet you guys are the same way. Like the main thing that I'm looking for in a woman would like be more. Can we banter? Can we vibe? Do you laugh at my jokes?
100%.
Like if all of that is true, I don't give a fuck if you can cook. Make me a Pop-Tart. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
I
like-
already order Uber Eats 3 times a day. Bro.
Yeah, like who gives a fuck? Like, it'd be cool if you cleaned up, like clean up
Yeah.
around the house, like you know. And,
Yeah,
but
that's not a skill. That's just something you have to do.
right.
Make a Pop-Tart.
Yeah, just throw it in the toaster, man. Honestly, just rip it out of the package for me and put it on a plate, please, babe.
There you go. Yeah.
But
That's
I just
wholesome
really
caring.
like smiley chicks. Like we were talking about this. Actually, I don't know. I think I told you this. Where like I was in bed, and this was like a couple days ago, and I was like checking my emails in the morning, and I got an intro to a company that was basically gonna do a lot for the business,
Mhm.
and I was fucking like super stoked. And this girl had no idea what the fuck I was even looking
Yeah.
at.
Oh
She
wait, this
just-
girl. So like you
Yeah.
got laid?
huh?
I'm kidding.
You got laid
Fist bump me.
with a member of the woman female species.
The female,
The
yes.
female
She-
species. Oh my
she
God.
was
What was
female.
it like? Was it really like?
Did
a
it smell like
warm
roses?
No, it didn't.
Did she purr softly?
It smelled a lot like me, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just like, it
Your
just
favorite
smells
scent.
Like, honestly, yeah. And she was just so excited to see me happy. Bro, this girl didn't even know who I was.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of, but like, it was very
Bro.
like it was very wholesome and like honestly like, I think about that a lot. I think like wow.
The genuine feminine love. You can't. I mean, it's the
I
best.
know.
It's the best.
I know. And
Yeah.
she just met me, so it was very strange. But
What do you think about the women in Miami? I know you have-
Yeah, I mean, I could say the classic, like, the thing is, people make judgment, like, the truth is, there's good and bad women everywhere. Like, that is just a factual statement, right?
Yeah.
And then the truth is also, there is averages. Like, averages exist, and people, if you ever make this is an average X statement, people are going to be like, well, no, I have a counterexample. And it's like, yeah, you dumbass. It's part of the fucking average. Like, that's part of the mathematical equation. So people, statistics, humans can't handle that unless you're like, whatever. I'm not going to go down that road. But there's good and bad. I mean, I've talked to a bunch of girls just like walking, and they're like super nice and kind and amazing. And then a lot of them, too, like if you're the type of girl that is in Miami and you've moved in from somewhere, there's a reason for it. So either you're interested in business or art or something. So I thought they were cool. I haven't really went to the clubs at all, so I can't really. But I've been out in the nightlife. But even the girls I met in the nightlife were like cool.
Yeah,
like
they're they're normal, bro.
they're just normal. Yeah,
There's
I mean,
there's no good girls in my. Shut the fuck up.
bro, there's if a guy ever says there's no good girls in X or there's no, it's a mirror of himself.
Yep.
Because like if you are the type of man that can attract a nice woman, you will attract nice women everywhere. In the same way, if there's a very wholesome woman that every guy wants to marry, she's getting scooped up when she's single, right?
Yeah.
So like the dating is the perfect example of the ultimate fucking mirror. It's like you get who you are 100% because it can be no other way, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're an emotionally healed person that can basically do X, Y, and Z, then you're going to get like the girl that you talk to, right? It's like, oh, hey, this is amazing energy and we vibe, which is a good signal for yourself. You're like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, and I've noticed the more self-development stuff I've done to fix all my bullshit, you date better quality girls. I mean, that's what it is. Your relationships get way better. You fight less. So like you have all your bullshit and it just gets fucking punched to your face in the mirror of life, right? And then you fix what you can, and obviously nobody's perfect, so you're gonna always have your things. But bro, the whole like this any generality, the internet can't handle anything, bro. It's especially like to even assume that one guy would have the exact same preference on women as another guy is absolutely insane. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense at all. It's like, and also, why do you care? Like, shouldn't you be happy? Because if this guy doesn't like what you like, he's going to go take all those women. Shouldn't that leave more of what you like? Like, why are you bashing this dude on the internet? If you like X kind of girl, you're just going to make everybody else get the same kind of girl. So then you don't have, like, it doesn't, bro, it all doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, saturate the market, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's also way more fun when you, like, get a girl to adopt your view of reality.
100%.
Instead of, like, her coming to you, like, pre-made.
Yeah.
Like, you know somebody that kind of gave you those beliefs. It's like...
And if she loves you, she'll do that naturally. Like,
Right.
she's going to want to do that, right? Because then she'll actually respect you.
It's like if you play her in 2K and she like knows how to dunk. Like, how the
Yeah,
fuck
you're like,
did you learn
yeah,
that?
exactly.
Like,
You're like,
who
how
is this
did you
guy?
know XY fucking
And
upsuit?
not-
Yeah. That's so
playing
funny.
UFC and she just knocks you the fuck out.
And it
You're
was
like,
probably a guy too. That we have to cut this out. But like, if you know how to dunk on 2K, like,
Yeah.
you just switched to white guys.
That's funny.
We're cutting this out. But,
Yeah.
I don't want to cut this out. This part's great.
Yeah, don't cut it out. You
what
gotta
was
let
I
it
gonna
fly.
say? I was gonna say like also too like a lot of guys like it's not even just about they can't find good, like they just genuinely like don't like women. Like
Yeah,
I
they
think,
don't like
you
women.
ever read Way the Superior Man?
No.
Oh, dude.
You haven't?
No,
put me on-
I haven't read a lot of
Ben
those.
put me on this.
Yeah.
It was an audio book.
Who wrote it, do you know?
David, fucking...
David Mendez.
David something.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was David. Yeah,
Okay.
but like, dude, it's like a 4 or 5 hour long audiobook,
Yeah.
and it just makes you realize that like all the things you like find irritating about women or that you don't like are like things that you should just accept because that's like the way that they are.
Yeah.
And like that's what makes them great.
Mhm.
And like if you as a man can just be yourself, they will usually adapt and end up like, you know, sort of
Unless you suck as a guy.
Unless you suck.
I think that's the elephant in the room no fucking red pill dude wants to address is like it's the mirror. If the women that you're talking to suck, you suck. Like bro, it's that simple. You know what I mean?
I also think a lot of the guys that are like super dead set on like, oh, it's open for me, it's closed for her. That's an insecurity, bro. Like some people just operate that way, and I think that's fair. But I think a lot of the guys that are talking about that, it's like they don't have enough validation in themselves to be full with just one girl. And I know this like from experience. I was like, I had the perfect girl, but I was still looking elsewhere because that wasn't enough for me to like be happy with me.
Yep.
And people, oh, you need fucking 10 wives, like it needs to be open for you, closed for it. Bro, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
the funny part too is like a lot of the things that they say women are is again projection. Because like you can meet a girl and you can know like she is only loyal to you, and like they have never felt that. Like I've dated girls that they could be on the boat in Miami, they could do X or Y. I have zero anxieties about that because of this. Like this girl I know is going to do anything because that's who she is, right?
Yeah.
So I think the nuance, which is the fucking thing, is like girl to girl, which is also guy to guy. Like it's you can't really have generalities when it comes to people because everybody's different, right? So like in one situation you could have X girl in one situation and Y girl in the same situation, and depending on who she is, it's going to hit you way differently, right? Like you have a girl who's like looking around at different guys and doing this and doing that. No shit, if she's going on a boat in Miami, you're going to be like, ah, fuck, you know what I mean? Because like you already know she's looking and you can feel it in your soul that you know it's wrong.
Right.
Or you have another girl that's like, oh, you know, weird situation, friend's birthday with this and that, you have to go on a business trip or whatever, just happened like this. And then you just were like, let's say theoretically you were like, oh, that's fine, right? Assuming, because some guys would be like, no, you can't go, right? But that would be probably that type of girl. But there are, basically the point is there's chicks where like you won't question what's going to happen. But a lot of that is how you feel about yourself, right? Because if you secretly feel like you're a piece of shit and that all the other guys are going to be better than you in whatever way, you're going to obviously be like, oh, fucking, which is the downside of, I think, a lot of the teachings, I would say, of Red Pill. I always say it's mostly like a mind virus disguised as information, but they do get like 90% of this. Actually, Ty Lopez said this on the TikTok. He was like, basically, it's 90% right, but the 10% that's wrong might outweigh the other 90. And I was like, bro, it's a perfect way to say it. So,
Dude, we were talking. You mentioned something. The word you use is wanderers.
wanderers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
I remember
Should
the
we
one.
shout out?
You know,
We met a wanderer?
We met the most, like, the definition
Of a wanderer?
This
Yeah.
girl was insane, bro.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Mason, we were in West Palm, and Mason has a girl that lives over there. And she was like, oh, yeah, like, I'll bring a friend and go on a little double date. Dude, the second I sit down, this girl is telling me how she, like, ends up in a van in fucking Colorado, like, just, like, literally wandering the earth.
wanderer.
Like,
Literally,
wanderer.
like, bro, like she lands in like Denver with no hotel, goes to the gym, meets a guy. She gets in his truck.
Yep.
They go to somewhere. She sleeps in his tent.
Yep.
And then like she's like, well, thanks, bye, and then goes to the beach and
Goes
then
to the
ends
next
up
guy.
sleeping in, like yeah, dude. And then, but the way she said it wasn't like I was just sleeping my way through like Colorado. It was
Yeah.
literally just like, it was more just like it made me feel like weird that she was like so, like not afraid of like random men.
Yeah.
She wasn't even aware, bro. She was, like, it was insane.
It's either super
Super,
wholesome
super
or, like,
wanderer.
Yeah.
yeah, dude, she was like, yeah, like the final boss, like,
Yeah. Final boss of wanderers. That's funny.
yeah,
I think that, like, that feeling of just not having self-awareness is like one of my biggest pet peeves in people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it makes people unbearable to be around because they just aren't conscientious of the way that they're making other people feel.
Yep.
Because they have this different belief about themselves and who they are. Like, that's also the disconnect that you find on social media when people are like pretending to be somebody that they're not, and that's why their content doesn't do as well. Like, it's the same thing, and then they're the same people that stand in the door in like a crowded restaurant, or
Bro.
they're like
The slow walkers in the grocery
the
stores.
slow walkers,
Oh my
and- or
gosh,
the,
dude.
the slow drivers.
Literally just in
Like,
the back.
bro.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I agree.
Yeah. But I also think like I might be too far the other way, where like I'm a little bit like hyper anxious of like me like being in the way, and like I think at some point it kind of like bites you in the ass, but also like I don't know, it's important to me that I don't like inconvenience people from.
I'm the same way, and I think that's part of the reason why you're such a good copywriter. Is like you're in the minds of the hive, you're in the minds
Yeah.
of all the others as you live your life.
It's so funny you say that because I always tell people that. Like that was one of my TikToks that did really well. Is like if you have anxiety about anything, like you're probably gonna be successful.
That was a great video. That was a great
Yeah.
one.
Thanks. And you know what was the best part? The women on TikTok loved it. There was this girl that I
Oh,
like
yeah.
kind of low key had like an internet crush on.
Okay.
And she liked it and commented. She was like,
You slide or what?
I followed her.
You slide from
She
behind.
fall back?
You know what? I might just have to double tap it.
She didn't see it, bro. You know, you get a ton of notes.
Yeah, I mean,
You,
she gets
you
a
send
lot
your
of
setter in
followers.
there? Follow-up message?
Yeah, fuck it, shit. Honestly, yeah, he's probably got a better game than I do.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Grant, when did you
funny.
when did you like get? Sounds weird to say it this way, but like serious about dating and decide to get good at it.
Yeah. So basically, for context, this is like in college. I've always been like sarcastic and like funny, I would say, but I was I was super stifled and I was really nervous and I was afraid to express. I had all this personality shit, right? So, I mean, right after college, basically. So, but we played this rec. We did this intramural league or whatever, and I had never used dating apps or whatever. And I had like girlfriends I liked, so like I naturally stumbled into stuff, but there's no like strategy or anything.
Yeah.
And then there's this dude, shout out Majid, and he brought this really attractive girl to one of our games, and I was like, dude, where'd you meet this guy? And he was like, or this girl, and exposed, and he was like, dude, Tinder. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, there's no way. Because I don't even see these girls walking around campus. Didn't really think anything of it. We get to the last game of the season. We won the shit because we were, like, flexing. So I am champs, baby. 2 years in a row. I peaked in high school. No.
So
And then
yeah.
it brings a different girl. And then this girl was, like, again, super attractive. And I'm like, dude, where'd you meet this girl? He's like, Tinder. And I was like, bro, like, you're gaslighting me or you're lying. Like, I just couldn't fathom it. And then I was like, show me what you're doing. And then he showed me like his pictures, how he was texting, how he like thought about things and everything. And it fucking just hit me in the face. And I was like, whoa. Like, I was like, there's a way that you can properly do this. And I am not doing this at all. And like, had no concept of style. Obviously still don't. Had no concept of like grooming, beard or anything like that. Like I didn't, he would be like, every guy wants to be a man 10, but nobody wants to do the man 10 work, right? It was like the Ronnie Coleman weightlifting, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then that year I had that sales job. And I was in Portland and I had just like, I was making more money than I ever made. I was finally on my own, right? Because I moved out. And then it was like, okay, let's just date a lot. So him and I went out like every weekend for like 4 days a week for a couple of years. And it was fun to me just to learn like the psychology of people. So like it was never about like smashing a chick or taking her home or any of that. Because every night you would go out and you'd be put in super nuanced, unique social situations. And then you would usually fuck up and like look like an idiot, but then you'd think about it afterwards and be like, well, I probably could have done this. And then you go back the next time and then it works or it doesn't work. And you're like, oh, so I got a bunch of social awareness doing that. So it was like, I was like 22, I would say, like 21 to 23 maybe. We went pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
It is interesting just like starting to understand people better and understand like how they're going to perceive you based on what you say and the way you say it.
Yeah.
Like that's
also like the female mind is so much different than a man's mind. So the more you understand about that, it's kind of what you just said. Like they are just wired differently than men. So if you know the mind of a woman that or like their tendencies that they have more exaggerated than us, like emotion over logic, that's a good one, right? Is like all of the relationships that I've seen crumble in my own life around me from people that have had failed marriages, it's the guy being too problem solvy with the woman and where she just wants to be heard, right? So she's playing an emotional game, he's playing a logic game. So you have a woman that's like, oh, hey, I got this problem, da-da-da, and the guy's like, okay, show me what to do. And then she's like, da-da-da-da, and then he gives her the answer, and then she doesn't actually implement, because implementation of that would be a masculine energy, right? So it's like if she's not a masculine girl, she's never going to do it because it just doesn't vibe with her energy. And the guy gets super frustrated because she's not doing anything, not acting, and then the girl gets super frustrated because he's not listening. Yeah. So like that's the shit that you learn like in that realm is super helpful because then you realize a lot of the problems are like personality differences and like you don't try to change somebody if they're not. Like you're like, oh, hey, this is who you are. Right. And I do that with guys too now. It's like, who am I working with as a person? Because I feel like a lot of people have shit relationships because they try to like morph the person into something that they're not, and they hit the same wall over and over with that person until they all die, like until it just explodes or they just get rid of them. Where like I would say a strategic leader, quote unquote, would be like, okay, what is this person doing and how do they act? And then how can I as a leader build the system to help them succeed in like X thing as their way, if that makes sense, right? So, I mean, you work with employees, you learn a lot of that stuff. So it's like, it's kind of just understanding people and realizing like they're just operating how they're operating. So based on how they're operating plus what system we're in, how can I do whatever, right? Because we went out with other guys and you would see them do the same stuff over and over, and I'd be like, don't do that, do that, and it just wouldn't help. And I'm like, okay, if John's gonna say the fucking same thing 500 times, like how can we just make this a win? You know what I mean? So I don't know if that made sense, but yeah, that was the biggest lesson I think. That's in business. That helped me so much.
Right. It's an interesting parallel between like marketing and dating, like the
same stuff, bro.
Between emotion and logic. Like build the desire with emotion, justify with logic. It's the same way in dating, but like I think the emotion probably carries to 95% of it, and then the logic is like the last 5%. That's just like being actually logistically like safe and sound for whatever the situation is. But like in business, it's you're building that desire. If you're selling a biz op, it's like you're building that desire through like, okay, you're here and you want to be here, and then throughout telling that story, you're helping them justify it with logic by showing them other people that have gotten X result with the program, and then understanding the business model to the point where they actually believe in it.
Yep.
So like that's all. You're solving the logic on the way as you're painting the picture and building up the emotion, building up the desire, and then at the end it's just like, all right, the inevitable next step is to buy the thing.
So one thing that really like struck my soul as well is like understanding that like the feminine is the reflection of your masculine. So what I mean by that is like when you go through the dating adventure, all your the holes of your boat, let's say, are exposed. Like
the holes of your butt.
Like when you're dating, yeah, like your butthole gets exposed via her tongue. No, what I mean by that is like all the things that you're missing, like as a dude, like get exposed when you start dating. So for example, like I couldn't like, or I wouldn't, I would say like forcefully take the lead in a situation with a chick, but then if you date like super feminine girls, like they're not going to do anything. So you kind of just sat in limbo, and it was like, wait, like I have to change. Like let me just move it forward, right? It's kind of like when you're 15, you're like afraid to make a move and you never do, and you regret it for the rest of your life. Yeah. It's like you didn't have the skills. That's just how it was. You're like, oh, I know I got to do something, but you don't do it. That was something I think, again, that all applies to business, bro. Dating is sales, marketing is sales, even sex is marketing. Okay. Like, because listen, product market fit, right? You start.
What
You
if it
know,
doesn't
If
fit?
it doesn't fit, you're
fit,
targeting the wrong
if
audience.
it doesn't fit, then I can't relate to that. No, but like you're hooking up with a girl for the first time or whatever. You guys don't know each other's bodies, so you're like, okay, whatever, and then you guys get some reps in, and then you kind of learn, okay, she likes this or likes that. You're building the product, you're bringing it to market, right? You're like, oh, because maybe let's say you're like a one-stroke wonder, and then your best move on her doesn't work. And then let's go, right? But then let's say it doesn't work. What are you going to do? You're going to freak out and be like, man, this doesn't work. You got to find another move, right? So then you're going to be exploring the body of a tender, soft woman. Supple.
Yeah.
And then you'll end up with you guys end up kind of your thing that works for both of you, right? So in a way, it's all product market fit and marketing.
Word. Interesting.
Until you give her the product that she'll buy and wants. You know what I mean?
Never been to that part, but
really?
I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Okay. Yeah. I read it on the internet.
I want to go back to
yeah.
what you said real quick about. I think if you can boil down, at least from what I've heard from you, everyone has their own definition, but I think a good way to describe masculinity in one word is action.
Yep.
And this is something I learned from Ricardo when we were going out a lot last year. I haven't seen Ricardo in a minute. Shout out Ricardo.
I'm gonna pull up.
For real, he actually should tonight. But he would. We would go and legit do sets out. He was forcing, because this is back when I literally couldn't talk
you
to
pull
girls.
up to chicks?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he would be like, go talk to her. He'd point and I would just have to go.
Yeah.
That's how it was
And
as
then-
a pledge.
It's legit. And
Yeah.
so I would go up to girls and I would I would
okay.
try and do my thing and I would say something and then I'd be like, the conversation would just end. I'd be like, all right, well, see you later. And the girl would walk away and I'd go back to her car and be like, dude, fucking, I can't, she just had no conversational skills. I couldn't talk to her. And he was like, no. That's your job.
Yeah.
Your job is to drive the conversation. The only reason she's not good at conversing with you is because you're not, you haven't given her anything that she wants to respond to.
You're not making it easy.
In hindsight, I was probably being way too logical. That's what everyone does.
Yeah.
And probably just wasn't being joke world enough.
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
the fuck, you know what I mean? But you learn that stuff where it's and then it kind of makes you relax a little bit because it's if you know the conversation is all on you, then it means you'll try a little bit harder and you won't, you won't feel resentment to the girl if it doesn't go anywhere because it's actually your fault. Because it's not if she was bad at conversing, that would mean that she's never had a good conversation with anyone ever in her life, which is just straight up not true. It's just you. And so you learn that also through reps. And like you said before, it's not just action talking, it's actually doing shit.
100%.
Let's go here.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing.
That's interesting. Yeah, there's this one girl in college that she just sucked to talk to. She was so beautiful, but she was just hard to talk to. She wouldn't give you any banter back.
Yeah.
But it became really fun and the pressure was completely gone because I knew it was just all on me to carry the conversation and be entertaining. And that brought the best out of me, bro.
Dude,
I was rizzing a brick wall and it worked.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I had one of those. There was a girl I was obsessed with. Her name was Nicole. I'll even say it right now. If you're watching this,
Nicole,
I still love you.
Miss you.
Yeah, no, for real. And
Where was she at?
She was the best.
Huh?
Where was she? What city?
Well, this is high school. So,
Okay.
my hometown.
Nicole, Canadian Nicole, we love you.
Yeah. She knows who she is. She's Greek too.
Greek?
Best, yeah.
Amazing.
The best. And she, bro, was so shy, as a lot of high school girls are, but she was particularly super shy and wouldn't really say much at all. But and that was the same sort of thing, my excuse to just entertain myself through her.
Yeah.
Basically just using her as it's like playing tennis with yourself, where it's just a wall, but
Yeah.
you can still have fun playing tennis. You don't need another person to send it
Yeah.
back to you. Actually, it's probably better. And so that made it really fun because then I would just try and get completely outlandish and just do what I could to make both of us laugh.
Yeah.
And if I was laughing, she was laughing,
And
then
any little giggle is the best sign
It's
of
a
It's like a
win.
billion
Yeah.
dollar-
You're like,
fuck.
yes, yeah, it's all
Yeah.
worth it.
yeah. Dude,
Funny.
I feel it's so weird how a game or whatever is kind of like a bell curve where I felt I was or the opposite. Where I was really good in high school, and then for some reason I got to college and I had no sauce, and then I got out of it. And then I
Oh,
was
really?
good. Yeah.
Why? What do you think
I
happened?
don't know. I think I just I think you have status in high school if you're because it's so small. It's
Yeah.
a small community where it's brand carries you, where it's people already knew who I was. In
It's
college,
warm traffic.
It's warm traffic.
More traffic.
Now I had to go to college and figure out how to convert cold. And
Yeah.
I had no ad spend either. So it
Did
was
you
literally just, handing out flyers?
Did you make friends too? How was that?
Honestly, I
You
had a
lone wolfed
handful
it?
of friends. Yeah, dude. I
Yeah.
wasn't very that was kind of a, but I had a lot of fun. I was gonna say it was a dark time, but it wasn't really.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with myself, which is why I'm
Not surprising.
Like I can
Playing with yourself?
Yeah, it's legit, bro. Playing NBA 2K.
Playing tennis with yourself.
And yeah, dude, like my ideal Friday night when I was in college was I would like get high and go for a drive and listen to a podcast. Like,
Money.
Yeah, that was like the best thing I could possibly do.
Did you like not want to make friends, or like what was the? Did you like being alone?
I had friends, and so like I had the friends that I had, and like I just didn't really care. That's kind of like me now, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I have like my group of
Yeah,
like,
but you're the
5
boy to
10
everybody.
people.
Like,
I guess, but like, I don't
everybody
want to
loves
hang
you.
out with them. Like I don't know. I think it's a lot of like I don't know. Like I just don't really need like new people.
That's
do you
fair.
do you ever feel like that? Like
Yeah,
you're
no, I
kind of
do.
a lone wolf. Like
Yeah.
you got
yeah, unless I like really fucking like somebody, like I'll go out to get food with you every now and then.
Yeah.
But like, I got enough friends.
Yeah.
It's too much mental bandwidth as it is.
100%.
But like one thing that I did do, and this is like, I've only ever written about this. I've never talked about this, but like I had been sort of like a lone wolf for a while, and then when COVID happened, I was doing copywriting. It was 2021, like early
Yeah.
2021, and I was making good money, but I was living alone in like a shitty ass apartment, and like there was no opportunities to like go and make friends.
Yeah.
And so I was actually like right after my 22nd birthday, which is in May, until like July. Like it was 2 months of straight like holy like just misery. I was like,
Yeah.
I had no friends. I had nobody in my life. I was hanging out with like my mom every like 4 or 5 times a week. And like I had nothing to do. Like my life was just like really boring and shitty.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was like, okay, I have no friends. How do I get friends? Like, and I honestly like one
That's
of
like a unique one though, because you can't go anywhere. There's like
I know.
nothing you can do.
But like I even still like I wouldn't have like joined like a fucking baseball team or some shit
Yeah.
like that, or like gone to like there was nowhere to go. And so like what I did do was like actually shout out Lutz. Do you know Lutz?
Maybe.
You've probably heard of him through us, but like he like works with Ben a little bit. He's a copywriter. Like
Yeah.
I ended up putting him on, but like at the time he was a musician and I was a guitar player.
Yeah.
And so we were working together already on like music stuff, but like we weren't super close. And I messaged him one day and I was like, dude, like I know marketing now and I have like a little bit of money. So like, how about we try this? How about you let me manage you?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'll, figure out some sort of strategy to like get you spins on Spotify.
Yep.
And like try my best to blow you up. Cause it was like a cool little side project. Like I was doing freelancing and like, I was just writing, but like
Yeah.
I knew about marketing, and so I was like, let me just try some of this stuff. And so like we were like kind of in the lab, like we would go there and we like we would make songs, like
Yeah.
I'd play on shit and we'd write together, but also like we'd sit there and like think about like, okay, like how can we get you PR?
Yep.
Like how can we get you influencer shoutouts? How do you get people to listen to music cold?
Yep.
And so like that, and it kind of worked, but like it ended up just being
What'd
like,
you do?
I actually did get him some influencer shoutouts, and like I think we were gonna like run like just like cool boosted posts, and like I was gonna give him like content ideas and stuff like that. And luckily he was like super good looking, so like it was easy for him
That
to
helps.
like
Be hot
and
on the internet.
basically,
Yeah.
right? And so because we were hanging out so much, like he would just be going out after, and he'd be like, "Yo, we're going to this club. Like, you want to come?" I'd be like, "Sure." And then he would introduce me to all of his friends.
Money.
And like I've told him a bunch of times, and like he always hates it when I say this because like he doesn't see it this way. But I told him, I was like, dude, like I hope you know that like you low key like saved
me.
life. Like,
Yeah.
I had no social life at all, like
Yeah.
zero. And I told him, I was like, dude, like you put me on, like you introduced me to your friends, and like in a circular way, kind of gave me confidence to like go and sort of be my own thing.
Yep.
And that was huge for me at the time. And
Mhm.
so like that was like my weird sort of like solution to that problem. And I think it's a very weird business guy way to solve that problem. But like now, I don't know. I think I'd probably do it differently. if I
How'd you
just
like
took
know
over.
him? Was he in your ether? Or like where was
Yeah.
he?
So I was friends with this producer, and the producer has a bunch of artists that he works with.
Yeah.
And then I would just come in anytime the guy needed a guitar player. I would just go in.
Okay.
And yeah. And so I met him like, the previous year, and we cooked up some fire.
Let's go.
It's still on Spotify. We can put it in the outro
Dude,
music.
let's go.
I remember
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. And so
You can shred, bro. I've seen the vids.
dude. I love guitar. I think it's like one thing that I should do more of. Like,
Yeah.
because it was such a huge part of my life for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the 4 pillars that Ty Lopez talks about: health, wealth, relationships, happiness. Like you started to kind of solve the wealth problem, but then you realized that your relationships, happiness, like that was still a
Yeah.
game that you needed to play in.
Yeah.
What order did you solve? I'm curious now. What order did you attack those? Because like anybody, you're fucking 17-year-old guy.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I know I got to get my money up. I know I got to get a girlfriend. I know I got to be a better guy. Like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, good question. For me, relationships probably came first. I mean, like basketball was like, that was health, I guess.
Yeah,
But going to college, like, dude, in college, like my main objective was to go out and like have fun and talk to people and whatever. So it just inevitably became relationships, and like I got good at that, and then I was like, fuck, I need money. So I started there, and I think money and happiness kind of happened for me simultaneously.
Okay.
Because like I had to change my mind to be able to make money. So those two started happening, and then I kind of neglected relationships for a bit.
Yep.
And now I'm like now really I'd say I'm more towards like the relationships and happiness, leaning towards that than I am money. And because once you crack the money code, it's like, all right, I know I can fucking, if I put my head down for 6 months, like I can make however much money I want.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let's lean this way a bit more.
To relationships?
Yeah.
Like in the female spectrum or the male spectrum?
Okay. I want to lose my virginity finally.
Dude.
It's the big thing.
This, bro.
I believe in you. Wait, I thought
Tonight.
Never mind.
I tried with the lady. From
Well, I was gonna say, like when my like knees were behind my head, I thought that.
I didn't really count that.
Yeah. Okay.
It didn't really go all the way.
Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, apparently we're not counting just the tip, but that's fine though. Whatever. I'm kind of hurt, but that's okay.
But yeah, I think there's seasons, bro. Like
100%.
I made this TikTok, but like there actually are seasons where I think it like serves you more to not neglect money, but like kind of put your business more on autopilot, or not just like be 3 feet on the gas with business, but like go 3 feet on the gas with dating, because then that's like a skill that you have forever, and it's at least at a new baseline,
And it'll help your business.
Yeah, it becomes empty. Like when I first moved to Miami, main objective was like make 30, 40K a month, because when I first got here, I was doing like 15 to 20, and I was like kind of terrified that I was gonna have to like leave or just not be able to live the life that I wanted to in Miami, because everything's more expensive. So like first 6 months of being here, it was just like going from 20K a month to like 50, 70, 80K.
Yeah,
like,
you're just freaking out and grinding.
And then I was like, oh wait, I'm here. And then I got like bored with it. I was like, wait, I have nothing to fucking spend it on. Like I'm not doing shit other than like going to eat with my boys. And I was like, all right, well let's like. And then I lost the business motivation too. Because if you're not putting it anywhere, then it's like, why the fuck would I make more money?
100%.
So now I'm like working the opposite way. Right?
So true, bro. Like I feel like there's a certain, we kind of have this personality type. I don't know if you do this too, but like I can't like split my attention. Like right now I'm all in on money. And like that's super important to me, because I know that there's a unique opportunity that I have right now to just run up. Like we're definitely going to do in the next 12 months, guaranteed $1 million a month.
Oh, 100%.
We can do one.
Yeah.
We can do it. And like right now, like we're both like this. Like we just don't really think about
everything. 100%.
Like, but like Q4 of last year and into Q1 of this year, which is kind of weird that frame my dating like experience that, but like that was my main priority. Was like I was just like, all right, it's time to just like run, like let's just go. And so like that was when I felt really good, but also like I don't know, I probably could have done a lot more with business, but like you kind of have to let something drop. 100%.
Peter Kell, the VSL god, he had a good email. He calls that basically being in the pocket. So he's like, the email was like, in my life, you're in the pocket where you just fucking stuff has clicked. You see the opportunity. It's like, don't fuck this up, right? I'm in that right now as well, which is why part of the reason I came here, and part of the reason like I cut off my wives completely. So like even in Colombia the last month, I was just in that little glass box in the sky, just fucking doing what I had to do like every day. And that is part of the reason I did the fasting as well, because I knew if I was fasting, you can't really do anything if you're fasting, right? Because then if you prioritize the fast over hanging out with people, you're gonna be in your house all the time. But like I actually know a lot of other people that are in the pocket kind of with us. There's like you could say maybe a consciousness energy, something's happening, and we're all just like, bro, like we all kind of are at the edge of a new high, and it's like, let's not fuck this up and just grind. But I think we're all aligned with that too. We're like, we're like, oh hey, we want to go out or whatever, but I think in the back of our minds we're like, yeah, let's not be too like degenerate, because we don't want to fuck up like a Monday or even a Sunday, because I work more on the weekends than I do in the weekdays, right? Which is funny, because we were at the place today, and like I was worrying about like, oh, I gotta do the sales letter, and then like we were all talking or whatever, and then I forgot what day it was, and I was like, oh, it's a Saturday. And I'm like, this could be a fucking Monday, which is why, like, and then I got a wave of gratitude, right? I'm like, this is crazy. But it's because every time I felt like you feel right now, or I feel right now, it's like you drop everything in the fucking pocket and you go. Because you know, bro. It's like a fucking animalistic instinct. Yeah. It's like, here it is. Like, don't fuck it up. Because then you just think about, like, you 5 years down the road, like, man, I had the golden ticket and I fucking dropped the bag. Like, you were just, yeah.
That's why I left Spain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wrote an email about this.
Too much, like, non-printing anxiety.
Dude, like,
let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
Non-printing, exactly.
MPA.
Yeah. MPA, dude. Make a TikTok about it.
Let's go.
Yeah, I was just, like, feeling super unproductive there, and I just, like, was terrified that I was going to come back to America and the opportunity be gone.
Like, miss out. Yep.
Yeah. Because, like, dude, there's nothing worse than just, like, watching something you love, like, just start to lose momentum. You're like, no.
Yeah.
No. Like, it's got to be some sort of evolutionary thing where it's like,
100%.
if you're a caveman and it takes you all day to start a fire, and then, like, you're working on it, and then, like, you start to see the fire dim down. You're like, dude, I literally worked all day for this. Like, I don't want to start it again. I'm going to be cold all night.
I was going to say, I think there's, like, a primal, like, you know how much it takes to start up and how heavier that is compared to, like, maintaining it. Yeah. Right? It's like, oh, fuck, I already did that shit. Don't fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Momentum's so fucking real,
crazy,
bro.
dude. Oh, most powerful thing on the planet.
Do you feel
other than the touch of a woman?
What do you mean?
I mean, yeah.
What do you mean?
Do you feel like, because right now, like, I mean, everyone should know this now, but, like, Ben is, like, in this with me as if he's, like, a 50-50 partner.
Yeah.
Even though he's not, because he's got other shit going on, too.
Yeah.
But, like,
I'll take 50 if you want to give it, like,
I mean, if you want to start acting like that.
And you guys are running up the bag.
Like, yeah, no, it's crazy. But, like,
running up the bag.
Like, dude, so when I came back to America, like, my first full day was Wednesday. And from 9, or no, I didn't wake up till 10, but, like, from 10:30 until, like, 10:30 at night.
Well, you don't wake up at 4 a.m. in cold shower?
No, not
I did get him in the cold shower.
Let's go, yeah.
No, dude, it's fucking sick. It gives you a lot of energy.
Hubie.
Hubie diet. And then, so all day Wednesday, like, I was just, like, cooking. And we also, like, made a bunch of money that day.
Yeah.
And then same Friday, like, just wicked day.
Yep.
And just, like, talking to everybody, and, like, the group chats popping,
So
like,
lit.
the calls. Like, dude, like, do you feel like...
Yes, it's so fun. Also, like, because we have sites some places we haven't gone before, which is, like, obviously the money goal of, like, hitting, like, $1 million a month. Like, that's fucking sick. And even getting to, like, 500, 600 stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's just cool to be in new territory and, like, actually see the path to get there.
Yeah.
And, like, these aren't really hard things that we need to do. It's just, like, a few dominoes that we need to knock over to, like, all right, we got to get Instagram going. We got to get YouTube. Like,
yeah.
And then just one by one, we'll just keep fucking going, knock over those dominoes, and like that's sick.
Plus, it's so rare. Like, you two get along really well, and we all do, obviously. But, like, you guys are friends, right? And you're super fucking aligned, and you trust each other, and you both see the same target.
Yeah.
Like, that's super rare. Like, you're like, not only are you both in the pocket for the same thing, but it's like it's the same goal. You like each other, you trust each other, you have complementary skill sets. Like, when the fuck does that line up? Crazy, right? Insane.
I told my mom this, that, like, if I get married, like, it's basically gonna be like female you.
Female Ben, 100%. Yeah. Like, when I walked in and you guys were scissoring, I didn't think it was weird. I totally understood it. I was like, for $1 million a month, right? I was like, who wouldn't scissor Ben? Yeah. Because his left leg can do that weird. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, you know that thing?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
He was a power bottom, though, by the way.
Mason is a power bottom for sure.
I have a powerful bottom, dude.
But yeah, dude, it is sick. Like, it's just cool to be in a position where we have the opportunity to, like, get to money milestones and also see the real life impact on people, bro.
Also, this might be a little bit deep. Is there a sense of almost like, and I guess you kind of said it, but like paranoia or anxiety? Like, you know you're about to break through and you feel really excited, but like that anxiety is almost colored with like, holy shit, like I'm about to fucking hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what happens when it happens.
Yeah, you're kind of like, oh, it's like a roller coaster, bro. It's literally like a roller coaster. Like, you're like, I'm about to launch up. Like, is this, like, what's it going to be?
More responsibility.
Yeah, because I get that every time.
Baseline's higher. Like, dude, I think that I got stuck at like 10 to 15K a month for a minute. And it was because I was like nervous of what the new, like, the raising the baseline.
Yeah.
Like, if you do 50 push-ups every day and you think 50 is your baseline, and then you do 60 one day.
Yep.
Next day it's like, all right, if I don't do 60, I'm a fucking bitch.
I'm a bitch.
Same way with business. So like each level that you progress, it's like, all right, now I know that I can hit this, so I better fucking hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think, like, the stakes are, like, it actually genuinely affects your day-to-day lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to drop down to, like, 150 a month, and I was only, like, if I lost a whole bunch of income, even though, like, you're still objectively
the going down
doing well,
just feel is the worst.
Yeah, you're like, oh, like, you just feel like you have less
Yep.
options.
Yep.
Like there's a part of your life that is now like sort of like the video game silhouette question mark over
Yep.
the thing, where it's like you can't have it anymore.
Dude, that's like a visceral core human thing. Like we
I know.
can't go backwards.
I know, dude. So like that's the only. But even still, dude. Like I think like there's very few things that like we can fuck up.
Yeah.
Like we're doing it. Like I think like one of the things that if I took a month or two off and then try to go back to it, like it would be gone.
Yep.
And there's people that I know that will get some W's, and if they just keep going, they'll be on the path to $1 million a month. And they're like, dude, we did our first 100K month. Like, time to go fucking celebrate in Capri for
Yep.
6 months. It's like,
Right.
dude, no, you haven't done anything yet,
Bro, it's
You can't
crazy.
like, I ain't got 100 mil yet. I can't chill yet.
Yeah, I ain't got 100 mil yet. I can't chill
That's
yet.
the one thing we talk about Miles all the time. Is
Yeah.
like, we offered him drugs one time. Actually, you were there for that. We offered him drugs one time, and I was like, Miles, come on, just take a little. And he was like, dude, I can't. I'm not worth 5 mil yet. And now every time like we tell him to do something, and he like says no, it's like, oh, you're not worth 5 mil yet. Is that why?
That's how it is though. Like that's how successful people operate, right? And that whatever that is, that's on every level. Like even people in my program, right? They'll get these little dubs and then they gas. I literally wrote this in the group thing the other day. I'm like, look, some of you are getting dubs and you're stopping. Like, why are you stopping? Like it's working. Fucking push it harder. Right? Like I think I just channeled fucking Fazio right there. That was weird. Yeah, I think I just channeled that.
It's so simple.
Yeah, it's so simple. Just get it. Yeah.
That's really good.
But yeah, I got my Fazio impression. But that's literally it, though. They just literally little win, gas pedal off. But then there's the other people that are like, holy fuck, like I can 10x this if I don't fuck this up, and then they don't fuck it up and it works, right? And then you have the other like more money, more problems. Now you're like, well, fuck, if I drop between under $1 million a month, I'm an idiot, right? Which is crazy. Also, this spurred another question. Did you guys ever have a moment where you were like, holy shit, I'm in the big leagues? Like you're like, dude, this is actually legit accomplment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like recently, like last 3 months.
Yeah. Were you like, oh shit, I'm the real deal?
In May, like it, bro. First week of May, I was like, yeah, we did 100K in the first week of May.
Yeah.
And
oh no, 100K in 7 days. Oh.
and it was my birthday. My birthday was the 7th. And I remember
Happy belated.
Thank you. And happy belated to you too, May 3rd.
You're welcome. Bro, you can't just out that shit, bro.
What? Everyone's
Star
gonna get
signs.
you birthday cards now?
They're gonna astrologically attack me, and now my weakness is exposed. But anyway,
two
good.
Tauruses are
Yeah,
against
you're good.
everybody
Yeah,
else.
whatever.
I remember like it was my birthday. We did stuff through the day, and then I was gonna go up to West Palm because I just do that. I just go to West Palm and fuck off for like 3-4 days and just like work if I feel like Miami's getting like a lot.
Yeah.
And before I left, me and Ben were just like sitting there on the couch for like an hour, thinking like, dude, like we will do multi millions with this thing this year. And I was like, wait, really? And he was like, yes. Like here's the numbers. Here's how it breaks down.
Let's go.
And I was
Let's go.
And I remember I was in the truck and I was just driving up. I stopped halfway in like Fort Lauderdale, like McDonald's or whatever. And then I was on the highway and I was like recording a voice note because I do this every couple months. I'll like talk to myself and give myself an update.
I love that.
And because I always wish I knew what I was thinking at certain periods of my life.
Same, bro.
Certain periods are colored with certain emotions. Like Q4 of last year was a very specific feeling that I had.
Yep.
Same with that summer. It was kind of weird. And the beginning of 2022 was another kind of weird time where it's like I just wish I knew what I was thinking.
Yep.
And this was like the beginning of like a new time where I was like, yo, like we're
in the fucking pocket.
The big leagues.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, I remember there's like a 13-minute voice note on my phone of just me thinking like, yo, like there's no way, bro.
Yep.
Just trying to like paint the picture of like what it's like so I can listen back.
Yep.
Maybe when we're at 2 million a month and it's like, oh, that's what that was. That's what that felt like.
Yeah.
Do you do that? Like, do you like
Yeah.
journal?
I mean, I tweet, so that is
you
kind of a journal. I don't actually journal.
But do you read your own tweets back?
No.
I think that's the
I
important
don't,
part.
but I could.
That's kind of like the cool thing about journaling is like you get it out in the moment.
Yeah.
But also like, because I used to journal. I don't really much anymore.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's crazy to sort of like see where you were.
100%. Weird one is like songs. Like songs are like the storage units for the chapters of our lives or the emotions, I would say, right? So I can kind of get those with a song. Plus, like, weirdly enough, like I used to make a bunch of songs, so I would like hear my own songs and I'd have like my own memories, my own things. Back in the day when I was artistic.
Are you still autistic?
Huh?
Are you still autistic?
No. I can't remember what we were saying.
Songs, storage units.
There's nothing.
No?
I love journaling though. I do like so. I realized the other day that I hadn't done it for a while. And then I went in there and I just fucking cooked. And I was like, why have I been neglecting this? Because I just updated myself on my life.
Yeah.
Like from a third person, like, yo, so I've been working on this, this, and this. Like this has been going well. This hasn't, whatever. And then I remember looking back on like my old ones and thinking like, that was so fucking cute. Like this little idiot was trying to make $10K a month. Like, fucking retard.
How do you write it? Like, do you write it as if it's like a letter to yourself, or is like how do you think about it when you're writing?
It changes a bit, but recently I was it was like almost stream of consciousness where I would just talk to me as if I was reading it 3 months from now.
Huh.
Like, yeah, so this happened, so I've been dealing with this a lot recently, and then I like figured that out, and then yeah, like it's just very free flowing.
Yeah. Free throws?
And like if you read it, you'd think I was a crazy person.
Uh-huh.
Like, because it just makes no sense the way I jump from thing to thing. But I just know, like, looking back on it, I'll be able to like appreciate. Okay, like, thanks for keeping me updated. Like now I understand the growth.
I need to build that in because every time I haven't done that, I'm like, damn, I wish I did. You know, like there's all these pivotal moments, and you're like, fuck, that was like, it's corny, but like, oh, these are the glory days, and it always actually is true. You're like, dude, that was the fucking time, right?
Yeah, it's easy to do it when things aren't going well for me.
Yeah.
Like when I'm super anxious.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I need this to stay sane. When things are going better, I forget about it.
Yeah.
And but I'm trying to get out of that habit and like actually just do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's good for you.
This is kind of a personal question for you, but like, do you feel like you recently kind of stepped into like your writing stride? Because like, I feel like you're a really good fucking writer. Like like your emails, I fucking love your emails, and like everyone that I talk to is like, bro, Ben shit is fucking fire. But I almost feel like you've never been like, I'm a writer, except for like kind of recently. Like I was touting Ben as the famous writer when we went out, and I was the homeless guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think about that? This is like selfish curiosity.
Yeah, thank you for that, first of all. Yeah, so like I've always enjoyed writing, but I've recently grown to trust my own thoughts enough to like think that like, okay, if I write this and other people enjoy it, like other people will enjoy it. And honestly, at this point I could care less if they do, because I know that they will actually.
That's the irony.
Like I just know as long as I'm authentic to like whatever I'm thinking about, it'll resonate with the right people.
Bro.
Also, Mason telling me I'm a really good writer, like
helped a lot. Yeah,
dude, like sometimes validation from other people,
100%.
especially if you respect them.
That's a big one. Like so many respect saying you got this is fucking huge. Crazy. Yeah, that was good. I have that video of you guys doing that with the same color shirt. We should have like a little. We'll do like a little chop. You guys were on the escalator. And I don't know what you said, but then it was like just a little bro. It's same color shirt. You guys had green on. Oh. It was very wholesome. I'm like filming on the bottom of the escalator. I'm like, yeah.
But yeah, dude, I fucking have loved writing those, and then just like getting the feedback gives me enough validation to like external validation to keep it going. But also a lot of it does come internally. It's like still it's a therapy session and a journal, and it allows me to like work out these ideas that I get in my head and then putting them on paper, and I kind of figure it out as I'm typing it. Like I'll have a concept. Like today, what was I writing about? How do you remember it?
I just remember it didn't have a subject line.
Yeah, it said insert subject line.
Yeah.
Which one?
Don't be lazy. Write a subject line.
Wait, okay. So I said at the end of it, I was like, maybe you need to trust your. Okay. So how you only know a decision is the right decision after the decision is made.
Yeah.
So like I was thinking partially about what we've done with Copy MBA, like.
Yeah.
When we're looking back and we were having that conversation, like, oh yeah, maybe we should do like a high ticket thing. Like that would be cool. Like let's just fucking see what we can do with it. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, try it. Like you had a group call that night. Like I was like, all right, pitch it. And you're like, really? And then we went back and forth a bit. And you're like, all right, I'll fucking do it. And then like this back half of that month, we made a lot.
Cutscene millions. Yeah.
Like, and then like that just sounds so obvious now. It's like, yeah, why the fuck would we not do that? But in the time, it was like, should we do this? Like, should we not?
But also, you bugged me about starting a coaching program. Like, this is all your fault. Like,
bro, stop. You're gonna be way too rich, bro.
like, yeah, you bugged me about that since like January, I'm pretty sure, or before. You were like, dude, like everyone, like no one doesn't make $100K a month coaching.
Yeah.
And especially if you're good at it, which I think I am a pretty good teacher.
If you're good at content and like you actually know what you're talking about, like it's literally a infinite money glitch.
Right.
But yeah, I kept bugging you about it because like I knew it was going to be a printer. So it was obvious to me. I guess it was less obvious to you. But then once we did it, then it became obvious to both of us. And like even I didn't expect us to shoot up the way we did.
Yeah.
But like that was the idea of today's email. I was just like, I was thinking about that and how in my life, like things like dropping out of college or when I decided not to play basketball in college, like those in the moment, it was like, what should I do? Like I'm at a crossroads. I don't know what to do. And then now thinking back, it's like, yeah, that was fucking, it would have been retarded if you didn't do that.
Yep.
But then even like the bad decisions, the decisions that you make, just because you made the decision, it probably led you to the right path.
You get feedback, so you know what to correct on.
It's like the line or the path not crossed or whatever. There's like a fucking
The
saying.
road less traveled.
I don't think it's that one, but yeah.
I think it is.
Maybe.
Go the road, yeah.
But yeah, it just gets you closer to truth. It just gets you closer.
Just
to
walking forward, you'll get a little more clarity.
Right.
Yeah. Or walk the path, and the path appears.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That was the one.
Yeah. Sorry, Mason.
Man.
Man, I'm done.
I think we're gonna run out of time here. You guys want to, and also to like,
Yeah.
it's
7:54.
Wrap it up.
yeah.
What time is it?
Hey, can you guys read the timeline?
Can't see the flash. Early, bro. It's funny.
What do we? Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to like go over?
No, I was just gonna go into your psyche more, but that's
All right, real quick. Let's dive in. Like,
okay.
read
Well,
it.
I got so curious. So Ben kind of said his sauce. When did you kind of step into like your own like confidence,
For writing.
just for like being, but also writing?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
Like, did you
writing
have
thing,
like I feel like because a lot of people are kind of like, oh, I could be that person, and then you have a shift where you enter into it, and I feel like Ben's was like, you had a strong step somewhere fairly recently. I feel like because like you weren't banging out crazy like focused content like that, and then you were, and I was like, well, that's fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So did you have like a chasm like that, or is it chasm? Chasm?
I think it's Chasm.
Chasm. Yeah, I've only read that word.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
had a
hear there's some
Shout out
baddies there.
Scooby.
Yeah, shout out Scoob.
Baddies and
I
Kazzy.
like Scoob. Yeah, I mean, in terms of confidence, like that was a very, very slow and gradual buildup. I've never been one to sort of like project out and be more confident than I think I should be.
Okay.
Like it's always just been like I just progress, in small steps in whatever I'm doing, and then I just take one tiny little leap forward. And so like I don't know, that's just happened over time. Like I don't think like I never had a moment where I was just like in my shell, and then 3 weeks later something happened and I'm dancing around. Like it's just never like that. I think like I don't know. I was never really like a super confident guy. I think anytime I was confident was only just because like other people basically gave me validation, right? Like
Okay.
I remember like my junior year of high school. I don't know why I thought I was the man, but I just felt like I was.
Just junior year, you're
Yeah.
like, fuck it.
Just-
Okay.
yeah, I
Let's
just, like-
go.
I was
I'm older
like,
now.
You have referenced junior year a fair amount, actually, now that I think about it. So you had some
That was-
good clips there.
yeah, shout out Nicole.
Yeah.
Um,
Love you, Nicole.
Yeah.
You're the best.
She's the best, man. Miss
Yeah.
her. And yeah, I just think like I don't know, but like now I'm just now starting to sort of like base it on what I think I am, based on like instead of what other people think I am.
Yeah.
I have noticed about you recently, though, like you will lead way more often than you used to. Whether it's like small things, as in like just being the first one to walk into the restaurant and greet the waitress or the hostess, to paying for stuff, and like being the one that drives and small stuff like that. I've noticed, and tipping and like deciding, all right, let's go here to get drinks and whatever. Like you have taken more lead on that
Thanks, man.
recently, and I don't know if that's like
Yeah, what was that? Did you come into something or?
No, it's just because I saw other people doing it, and it made me feel good and like taken care of, and I was like, I want to give that to other people.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like Luke's really good at that. Like Luke is a really good leader. Like we will say like anytime we go on a trip, like it's usually the Luke show.
Okay.
Which like sounds like a bad thing, but it's not. Because like if any of us were sort of driving the boat on the vacation, then like we probably wouldn't really do much. But like Luke is very active and always trying to like get us to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just want to chill, but it's good that he's trying to get us to do stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well like I don't know, I can lead too. I can do the same thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I just got, like I think like I don't know. Everyone, you said this. You said like the nice guy like won't lead because he thinks like you're taking a position for somebody else. But like most people don't want to lead.
100%.
They
want to be led.
yeah, they want to be led. And so if you jump up and do that,
Yeah.
then like they will appreciate you more. You're not
People don't want to put their neck out to have conflict of somebody being like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's super important. Like the ability to do that.
To be able to.
Yeah.
I would say is massive.
Yeah, you don't always have to, but like
You just need to, I would say that.
situations,
I would actually say that's like a core fundamental part of being like an evolved man, I would say, is you need to be okay with taking charge if you have to.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys that they freak out about that and they literally cannot do that. And if you can't do that, you have an issue, I would say.
Right.
You need to be like, do you have to do it every time? No, of course not, right? Because you got your boy, like it'll all be different. But but you should be able to, 100%.
Yeah.
If you can't, you got a fucking problem.
And I think sometimes you end up in a situation where like you kind of have to, and
Yep.
that's where you learn that you can.
Yep.
Like as small as like going out and being the one that decides where we go and like initiating conversations with other people and shit. Like when I'm with a certain group of friends versus like Luke and Mason and those boys, like I'm way more inclined if I'm with the other friends to like be the leader in that group. So if you can't do that, then like it's a skill you have to develop.
100%.
Sure.
It's also interesting. I don't know if you guys know this, but like with the dating stuff, you notice a lot. Like people, it all comes back to identity, right? Like, do you see yourself as a leader or not, right? It really comes down to that. And then how you see yourself is where you're always going to place yourself. Like you'll have these guys. Let's say you're like 5th in your friend group, right? And then you sell all your shit and you move to Kentucky, like, and you get a new group of friends. You're going to end up 5th in the friend group. Like you're going to place yourself exactly where you want, and then you're going to repel friends that doesn't work with, right? But let's say you only have 3 friends, but then you have a 4 and a 6. Now that guy leads, like you're always going to hit where you should be hitting. And I think that's kind of a metaphor for all of our patterns. Like we place ourselves, even money's a huge one. Like you place yourself exactly where you think you should be.
Yeah.
And you just repeat that fucking cycle all the time. But then very few, like let's say you now, if you're acting like this in a new way, maybe it's like you're kind of testing a new part of the video game. Like, well, fuck, why not go like this, right?
Yeah.
And then you kind of download the fucking pack, and then you're like, okay, I got that now.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, let's do a different one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying on a different hat.
Yeah, it's also fun to show people a good time too. Like that's like one of the best things you can give to someone. Like
100%.
dude, I will always shout out Ricardo because like the first time I was ever in Miami, like I don't even think he lived here at this point. Like I think he had just been here a bunch.
Yeah.
But he knew all the spots. He was helping us skip lines. He was just like, bro, a city he doesn't live in, going up to bouncers
Just running it.
and just
That's
speaking
sick.
Spanish and saying like, yo, how much to get 4 people in?
Yeah.
Here's $100.
Amazing.
And then like leading charge when we're going to talk to girls and stuff like that, and like just bringing more people into the group and inviting people out. And it's like, dude, like this guy is running the fucking ship.
Yep.
Yeah. He doesn't even live in the city.
Yeah.
He could do this anywhere. And I remember like it was my first time there, and so I just remember like him. I remember thinking like, dude, like this guy's a dog, bro. Like he's the man. And so like I wanted to do that for other people. And then like when my brother came down here in January, and I wanted to do the same sort of thing with him, and then his little protege came down here a couple weeks ago. And like we did the same again.
Yeah.
And so like now it's just like a thing that you want to give to people because you just know how great it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's also like interesting to play all the different roles, right? Like we all have mentors, and like the classic social fuck up is like when you have like a new kid trying to like strong arm his fucking mentor, and you're like, you dumb motherfucker. Like you have to. The only way you can lead is if you can also fall in line. Like it's the same shit. If you can't be led by somebody, you can never lead anybody else. It's like it's a yin to the yang, right? Mm-hmm. So like that's a big problem, I think, is you have a lot of these young dudes on the fucking internet, and they see these leaders espousing certain things, and again, there's no nuance. So then they're just like socially fucking uncalibrated because you're just like coming in super aggressively with a guy way above you, and the guy's just like, bro, fuck off. That happens all the time in my fucking DMs. Like dudes will say shit, and I'm like, the balls on you are crazy, but like I'll never talk to you because that was super abrasive, right?
Right.
Where like the people that are like, hey, bro, da da da, it's just respecting the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think there is that social autism. I don't know what that is, but it's running rampant in my DMs.
Totally.
So yeah.
for real. If you're gonna try and hit up Mind Hacks in the DMs, you gotta be.
Dude, just be courteous, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's all it is.
Tell him he's
Yeah.
handsome.
Send
Easy.
$1 on Venmo.
Yeah, just send me $300 and a picture of your tip. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm kidding. Jokes.
This is a great pod,
Oh,
man.
man.
I think
Fire.
Yeah,
it's
we're gonna
a
get kicked
lot.
out of here, but this was
Yeah.
awesome.
Money.
Yeah.
Thank you, boys. Thanks for breaking the internet together.
Thanks for running it. Thanks for downloading your psyche into my psyche.
Thanks,
Mace.
All right.
Yeah,
Peace
good
out,
stuff.
ladies and gents. Thanks for listening.
See ya, internet.